Chapter 367. That's right. Zhu Yingxiong thought, it must be boss Xiao Chen who made a move. Otherwise, no matter how stupid Ouyang Tang was, he wouldn't just stand there and wait to be beaten. Well, little fatty Zhu, you know your brother-in-law. You also think that Master White Fox is very handsome, right? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Yes, he is so handsome. If I were a woman, would marry him. Zhu Yingxiong said shamelessly. Yes, yes. Yu Xiaochuan was overjoyed and said, you are good. Be my brother-in-law. I am very optimistic about you. Yu Xiaochuan first sent Tang Tang back to the Tang family. When they arrived at the Tang family's gate, Tang Tang got off first. While Yu Xiaochuan was parking the car, she lowered her voice and asked Zhu Yingxiong, how is Xiao Chen recently? Very good. Sister-in-law, do you miss him? Zhu Yingxiong asked with a smile. What sister-in-law? Don't call me that. Yu Xiaochuan and I are not married yet. Tang Tang didn't like this title. Oh. Sister-in-law, I mean, Xiao Chen is my boss. Of course, you are my sister-in-law. Zhu Yingxiong was stunned. He realized that Tang Tang was talking about Yu Shanshan and Yu Xiaochuan. Obviously, he misunderstood. Oh. Tang Tang glared at Zhu Yingxiong. Then why don't you make it clear that he's fine? When you have time to see him, tell him that I'm fine too. It's just that Yu Xiaochuan is neurotic, but he didn't do anything bad to me. Okay. But sister-in-law, in fact, Master White Fox is not bad. You can think about it. After Zhu Yingxiong said that, he saw Yu Xiaochuan also got off the car, so he didn't say anything more and said loudly, goodbye, sister-in-law. Yu Shanshan thought that it was normal for him to call her sister-in-law, so she didn't think there was anything wrong with it. She went back to the car with him. Yu Xiaochuan sent Tang Tang to see Grandpa Tang as usual. Little fatty Zhu, Shanshan, wait for me for a while. I'm going to visit Grandpa Tang. Yu Xiaochuan said. Oh, no problem. Zhu Yingxiong was looking for a chance to be intimate with Yu Shanshan. The two of them held hands and got into the car. Yu Shanshan said, Zhu Yingxiong, your friend Xiao Chen doesn't seem to be on good terms with my brother? Did he have something going on with my sister-in-law? Aya, why do you care so much about them? It's fine as long as you like me. They can deal with their own affairs. Besides, your brother didn't say anything. Zhu Yingxiong said. That's true, but have you noticed that my brother seems to have become strange recently? Yu Shanshan asked. This. I haven't been in contact with your brother before. I don't know what he was like before. Anyway, when I met you, he was already like this. Zhu Yingxiong shrugged and said, I thought he was just a sissy. My brother wasn't like this before. He was a gentleman, but now, I can't tell the feeling. Yu Shanshan sighed, forget it, I can't control him. I'm married to you, so I'm a member of the Zhu family. Yu Shanshan wasn't particularly beautiful, but she was dignified and had a little baby fat. However, when she stood with Zhu Yingxiong, they looked like a couple. Moreover, she was a girl who didn't like to get involved in family affairs. Yu Xiaochuan sent Tang Tang back and went to Tang Fengbai's room. Tang Fengbai gestured for him to sit down, and then couldn't help but sigh, Xiaochuan, you've changed a lot recently. Grandpa Tang, I know, but I can't help it. Yu Xiaochuan was also a little depressed, now I feel like I'm like a woman. Everything is the same. If it goes on like this, sooner or later I'll be exposed. AI. Tang Fengbai was also a little helpless. He couldn't get rid of Yu Xiaochuan, his grandson-in-law. He didn't want him, but he couldn't not have him. In order to keep the secret, they could only become allies. Try not to say too much, don't let Tang Tang suspect. It's definitely impossible. Tang Tang will suspect sooner or later. But I thought of a good way here, and I'll discuss it with Grandpa Tang. Yu Xiaochuan said. Oh. What's the good way? Tell me. Tang Fengbai was really helpless. When he heard that there was a good way, he quickly asked. The current way is, I'll let Tang Tang find someone outside, so that she can fool around outside, and definitely won't care about me. Even if she finds out about my problem in the future, we can hold each other's weakness, and it won't be a big problem. Yu Xiaochuan said. You. Tang Fengbai really didn't know how to complain about Yu Xiaochuan's idea. He thought about it and said, Are you sure that Tang Tang won't talk nonsense? Moreover, if she goes outside to find someone, who will she look for? Don't tell me that you'll let her look for Xiao Chen. That won't only be a disgrace to you, but also to the Tang family. Of course not. Yu Xiaochuan shook his head and said, I have a very good candidate, White Fox Hero. I wonder if Grandpa Tang has heard of him. White Fox Hero? Grandpa Tang's heart tightened. The Tang family was also a branch of a famous righteous sect. Although he didn't personally attend the Songming Righteous and Demonic Summit, the second generation of the Tang family was invited to be an audience. Tang Fengbai had also heard about White Fox Hero's awe at the summit, but it was just hearsay. In his eyes, White Fox Hero was a very distant person, and he wouldn't have any interaction with him. He was an amazing genius of a higher level, and he wouldn't care about Tang Fengbai at all. But now, Yu Xiaochuan boldly proposed to let Tang Tang have an affair with White Fox Hero. This matter. It sounded a bit reliable. If White Fox Hero and Tang Tang really got together, it would be a good opportunity for the Tang family, and it would be a great help. This was definitely a good thing. Moreover, the most important thing was that White Fox Hero was from the demonic sect. He wouldn't be too disgusted with him and Yu Xiaochuan practicing the Chrysanthemum treasure book, so this was a good candidate. But the key question was, would he like Tang Tang? Even if Tang Tang offered herself to him, it was hard to say if he would be interested. It seems that Grandpa Tang knows about White Fox Hero. Yu Xiaochuan knew that it was impossible for Grandpa Tang not to know. I know, but what are you so sure about letting White Fox Hero and Tang Tang be together? Is he willing? Tang Fengbai asked. We can think of a way to create opportunities for him and Tang Tang to be alone. It's best to make it more ambiguous, so that they will fall in love over time. Yu Xiaochuan said, as long as you agree, I'll be responsible for thinking of a way. I have no objections. It's a wise decision for you to bring swordsman White Fox over and have him become our backer. Even if our deeds are exposed one day and we're cast aside and chased by the righteous sects, we can still ask him for help and join the evil cult, right? Tang Fengbai actually had his own thoughts when he said so. In his eyes, White Fox Hero was just a tool for him to rise to the top. His ultimate goal was to become the demonic sect's master. As his strength improved, Tang Fengbai's appetite grew. On the other hand, Yu Xiaochuan's ambition was even greater than Tang Fengbai's. But now that his gender had changed, his personality had also changed. He was now similar to most women, without much ambition. Instead, he hoped to be with the person he liked. Okay. Yu Xiaochuan wanted Tang Tang and White Fox Hero to be together for his own sake. When he thought of seeing White Fox Hero every day, he would be so happy. Tang Tang still didn't know that she had been privately betrothed by Tang Fengbai and Yu Xiaochuan to a man called White Fox Hero. She lay in bed, thinking about the bits and pieces of the time she used to be with Xiao Chen. For a moment, she was filled with emotions. Perhaps those beautiful days would never come again. She missed the days when she got up early every morning to sell fried dough sticks with Xiao Chen on the morning market street. How was Kerlin? How was Xiao Chen? Did he get together with Qing Menjing smoothly? Although Tang Tang had been staying at home recently, she still heard the big news. Moreover, when she went out today, she saw Xiao Xiao and Qing Mingxiang together. What did it mean? Was Xiao Chen going back to the Xiao family? Tang Tang felt a little sad in her heart, but more than that, she was happy and blessed. She and he both went back and had a different life. Although they liked each other, they didn't make it clear. It was just a beautiful memory. Nothing happened that night. The next morning, Xiao Chen left the Zheng mansion early. Anyway, he was used to getting up early, so he went to the morning market street first. Xiao Chen didn't know why he came here. Maybe it was because it was full of memories. When he saw Tang Tang yesterday, Xiao Chen couldn't calm down for a long time. He didn't know what Yu Xiaochuan was thinking, but when he saw Tang Tang, Xiao Chen couldn't help thinking of the days in the morning market street. When he came to the familiar stall, Lin's family was busy. Although it was a noodle stall, because of the good location, the business was much better than before. However, it was not as good as when Xiao Chen was there. Xiao Chen had already put away the mask, so when Lin turned around, she saw Xiao Chen standing in front of the noodle stall in a daze. Xiao Chen? Lin hadn't seen Xiao Chen for a long time. Although she was a little afraid of Xiao Chen, she was worried about Xiao Chen when he really disappeared. She didn't know how he was and how he made a living. "Oh, Lin, how's the business recently? Is there anyone making trouble?" asked Xiao Chen. "It's okay, no one is making trouble." Lin shook her head. "How is Sister Tang Tang?" "Fortunately, she is engaged to another family." Xiao Chen sighed. "You, like Sister Tang Tang?" Lin saw Xiao Chen's lonely expression and guessed. "Yes." Xiao Chen nodded and didn't deny it. Ah. Lin seemed to find that she had misunderstood Xiao Chen a little. Did he actually not like her? The people he liked were Shen Jingxian and Tang Tang? Otherwise, why didn't he set up the stall here after Tang Tang left and never saw her again? Chapter 368. Thinking of this, Lin breathed a sigh of relief and dared to talk to Xiao Chen. "Do you eat noodles? I'll treat you. 2 bowls. 3 bowls that don't need to be cooked. Just take it away." Xiao Chen wanted to bring back a bowl for eldest young mistress, but logically speaking, Yi Xiaoya should be at home as well. He should bring back 3 bowls. If he only brought back 2 bowls, eldest young mistress might suspect something. How would he know that Yi Xiaoya wasn't at home? Okay. Lin quickly filled 3 bowls for Xiao Chen. On the other side, Mother Lin saw Xiao Chen and was grateful. After all, their stall was given by Xiao Chen. She specially filled 2 extra braised eggs for Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen took out 100 yuan and handed it to Lin, but Lin waved her hand and refused to accept it. Xiao Chen didn't force her. He just said, "Thank you. If you have any trouble in number 1 middle school, you can find Zhu Yingxiong." Lin's impression of Xiao Chen changed a lot. She felt that he was a good person, although he had killed people. When he returned to the villa, Miss obviously hadn't gotten up yet. The villa was quiet. Xiao Chen first went to his room to take a shower and change his clothes. Then, he walked to the kitchen. On the other side of the stairs, there were footsteps, but to Xiao Chen's surprise, there were 2 people. He looked back and saw Qing Menjing and Shen Jingxian. He was slightly surprised. Shen Jingxian lived here the day before yesterday. Was she here last night? No wonder Miss didn't care if he didn't go back. It turned out that someone was accompanying her at home. Otherwise, it would be quite scary if she was alone in such a big villa. "Jingxian, you are here too?" Xiao Chen said with a smile, "But I bought 3 servings of noodles. I didn't expect you to come. How about I don't eat? Otherwise, there won't be enough for little Yi when she comes down." Shen Jingxian cast a cold glance at Xiao Chen and sneered in her heart. He was really good at pretending. Did he say that Yi Xiaoya didn't have enough to eat? Is she at home? Yi Xiaoya isn't here. She went out these days. It's just the 3 of us. Qing Menjing said. That's great. Wait for me. I'll cook the noodles. Xiao Chen said calmly. Menjing, what kind of lousy manservant is this? He didn't come home at night, but you didn't scold him. Shen Jingxian said indifferently. N? Qing Menjing was stunned. She looked at Shen Jingxian with some surprise. This wasn't her character. Usually, Shen Jingxian was very kind. She never criticized others. Even if others did something wrong, she would only persuade them with kind words. How could she ridicule them? Menjing, I just think that what he did wasn't very right. It shouldn't be like this. Shen Jingxian also felt that she acted too much. So, she restored her usual kind look. Forget it. Who doesn't have something to do? He said that he went to find Zhu Yingxiong. I'll give him a vacation. Anyway, Jingxian, you accompany me. I don't need him. Cheng Menjing said. Oh, I'm afraid that he will have a problem if I spoil him. He won't come home at night in the future. Shen Jingxian said. Okay. Xiao Chen, you are not allowed to come home at night in the future. Do you hear me? Cheng Menjing said. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. Soon, Xiao Chen served 3 bowls of noodles. When he just wanted to sit down to eat, he heard Shen Jingxian said, Menjing, do the servants of your Qing family eat with the master? Ah. Cheng Menjing was stunned. She felt strange. Today, Shen Jingxian seemed to be particularly against Xiao Chen. Did Xiao Chen provoke her? But, she didn't think it was anything. Xiao Chen is different from other servants. After all, seeing that he is your ex-fiancé, let him sit here. Shen Jingxian said. What ex-fiancé? Xiao Chen, you go to the kitchen and eat by yourself. Cheng Menjing suddenly blushed and drove Xiao Chen away. Xiao Chen suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why isn't it over yet? I clearly have nothing to do with Yi Xiaoya. Ugh, is there really nothing to do with it? Xiao Chen was a little guilty. In the current situation, Xiao Chen and Yi Xiaoya seemed to have a little unclear relationship. However, since the Missy had spoken, Xiao Chen had no choice but to carry the bowl to the kitchen to eat. He thought to himself, why is Shen Jingmao's mouth so cheap? She says everything, just like a loudspeaker forcing customers. Jingxian, you seem to dislike Xiao Chen a little? Cheng Menjing noticed the problem and lowered her voice to ask, did he provoke you? No. Shen Jingxian pretended to be calm and shook her head. Wasn't it my boyfriend who cheated on me? I just remembered that he used to be your fiancé, but he still pursued me. Isn't it the same? He is a playboy. Just looking at him makes me angry. Shen Jingxuan's words were ambiguous. Xiao Chen listened to it. In fact, she was talking about him from the beginning to the end, and Shen Jingxian also wanted to express this meaning. However, Cheng Menjing would naturally think that the first part was Shen Jingxuan's boyfriend, and the second part was Xiao Chen. She automatically ignored that the he in the second half of the sentence actually referred to the former boyfriend. Gosh, it turns out that Xiao Chen is unjustly implicated. Cheng Menjing shrugged. Well, I didn't care before. Why do you care? Besides, we are best friends. Liking you and liking me has nothing to do with each other. Moreover, I don't want to be engaged to him. Yes, we are best friends. Shen Jingxian was suddenly very happy after listening, although she knew that Cheng Menjing said it unintentionally. Xiao Chen was a little silent in the kitchen. He didn't know how to explain. He also saw that Shen Jingxian was careful in front of Cheng Menjing. Suddenly, he felt that he was a little sorry for her. Even if there was nothing between him and Yi Xiaoya, he didn't want to give up Tang Tang. This was a bit unfair for Shen Jingxian. She was so wronged and secretly with him, and he, Xiao Chen, wanted to find a chance to explain to her, but now it seemed that Shen Jingxian didn't give him a chance to explain at all. Now no matter what he said, Shen Jingxian couldn't believe it. After all, her brother had been with her for more than 10 years. Would she believe her brother or herself? Moreover, her brother didn't lie to her. It was just a misunderstanding due to a combination of factors. While eating the noodles, Shen Jingxian was a little surprised. Where did you buy such delicious noodles? Haven't you eaten it before? Morning Market Street. Lin's family sold it. It's Xiao Chen's little lover at school. Cheng Menjing said lightly. Ah, it's her. Shen Jingshuan's expression just became a little gloomy again. Is Xiao Chen still in contact with her? Who knows? I'm too lazy to ask. Anyway, he's not my fiancé now. Besides, even if he is, isn't it the same thing? Your matter has also made me a lot more open-minded. Thinking so much is just asking for trouble. Now that I have nothing to do with him, I want to enjoy the life of a single princess. I don't care about him. Qing Menjing said, pretending not to care. In fact, she couldn't control Xiao Chen. What could she do to him? You have a good attitude, Shen Jingxian thought. Was she too stubborn? By the way, Jingxian, what are you going to do later? Qing Menjing asked. Beibei and Lu Zhenming are coming today. We're going out for a walk. Are you going? Oh, I'll go. I'm free anyway. Shen Jingxian didn't know what she was thinking. She hated Xiao Chen, but she still wanted to be with him. As expected, before long, the sound of a car came from outside the villa. It was Jin Beibei and Lu Zhenming. It was the first time for Lu Zhenming to come to Qing Menjing's villa. He seemed a little excited and happy. Hey, little Lu, you can look around, but don't touch. Cousin Menjing likes cleanliness. She is a neat freak. Jin Beibei warned. When she came just now, she saw Lu Zhenming waiting at the gate of the villa, so she brought him in. Okay. Lu Zhenming nodded. He was about to sit on the sofa when he was scolded. Hey, are your ears not working well when I talk to you? Jin Beibei slapped Lu Zhenming hard, making him stagger. I told you that cousin Menjing is a neat freak, but you still sit on the sofa. Do you want to be kicked out? Ah. Oh, okay. Lu Zhenming nodded and did not dare to move anymore. He turned around and saw Xiao Chen eating noodles in the kitchen. He thought to himself that he was indeed a servant. His treatment was not good at all. He could not even sit on the table. However, he felt a lot better. Previously, he had thought that Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing had an affair in private, and that Xiao Chen was deliberately tricking him. But now, it seemed that this was not the case. The main thing was that Xiao Chen's own status was not high, and there was indeed a limit to how much he could help him. Boss Xiao Chen, are you eating noodles? It's plate noodles. Plate noodles are my favorite. Do you have more? Asked Lu Zhenming. Xiao Chen pointed at the pot behind him and said, there's more in the pot. You can take it out and eat it yourself. Although Xiao Chen had asked for 3 bowls of plate noodles, Mama Lin had given him enough for 4 to 5 bowls. Also, Qing Menjing and Shen Jingxian could not eat much either. Even though Xiao Chen was a big eater, there was still some left. Haha. Great. Lu Zhenming scooped up all the noodles in the pot with a bowl. Then, he seasoned it with the spicy soup and put an egg on it. Wow. It looked so good. Lu Zhenming took out his phone, took a picture, and shared it on his WeChat moments. After he was done, he was about to eat when he suddenly remembered that Jin Beibei said that Qing Menjing liked cleanliness. It did not seem appropriate for him to eat without washing his hands. Therefore, he went to wash his hands. When he came back from washing his hands, he saw that Jin Beibei was already sitting there and eating his bowl of noodles. He wanted to cry but had no tears. Beibei, that noodles are mine, right? Where is your name? Jin Beibei took a bite and asked, what proof do you have? But it's really mine. Lu Zhenming said, well. Look, I even took a picture and shared it on my WeChat moments. Oh, then it's yours. Jin Beibei put down her chopsticks. Chapter 369. Lu Zhenming's eyes were brimming with tears. Is she going to give it back to me? Although Jin Beibei was a violent girl, she was also a pretty girl. He did not mind the food that she had tasted before. However, when he was about to go over, Jin Beibei continued. It's yours. I've eaten it. Do you have a problem with that? Jin Beibei squinted at Lu Zhenming. It's said that cousin Menjing hates stingy boys the most. Dazed, Lu Zhenming said in a hurry, "Aha. Of course not. You can eat it." Lu Zhenming thought to himself. Why am I always the one who gets hurt? However, he could only hold it in. As it turned out, he saw Shen Jingxian the moment he turned around. What a beauty. She seems to be on par with Cheng Menjing. Where does this beauty come from? He vaguely remembered that he had seen her before. She was with Chen Jinpeng. Shen Jingxian had an indescribable air of sunshine about her. All the boys would be fascinated by her when they saw her. It was a natural-born attraction. Although the young lady was pretty, she was cold and arrogant. She was cold to everybody at school. Therefore, there were not as many people who pursued her as Shen Jingxian. Lu Zhenming thought quickly. He pursued Cheng Menjing for two reasons. Firstly, Cheng Menjing was pretty. Secondly, Cheng Menjing's family background. He did not have any deeper feelings for Cheng Menjing. After all, how long had he known Cheng Menjing? But now, in the face of Cheng Menjing's repeated defeats, Cheng Menjing did not seem to like him at all, and there was no progress for so long. He was thinking that the person beside Cheng Menjing, who could be together with Cheng Menjing, should not have a simple background, right? Just like Jean Bebe. However, Lu Zhenming did not dare to chase after Jean Bebe because he did not want to die yet. If he was killed, he would have died in vain. Given the temper of the Golden Fur Lion King, his family would not be able to handle it. As for Shen Jingxian, although she used to be with Chen Jinpeng, now that Chen Jinpeng was dead, did she have a chance? Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming suddenly felt a little excited. Menjing, this beauty is. Lu Zhenming asked politely. Shen Jingxian, my good friend when I was in number 1 middle school. Cheng Menjing did not put on a cold face. After all, she had come to her home, so she had to deal with her. Huh, Shen Jingxian. I am Lu Zhenming from the Lu family of the Songning aristocratic family. Nice to meet you. Lu Zhenming reached out his hand and wanted to shake hands with Shen Jingxian. Shen Jingxian was a kind person. Although she did not want to shake hands with Lu Zhenming had reached out his hand, which put her in a dilemma. If she did not respond, she would embarrass him. If she responded, she would be unwilling. What Lu family of Songming? There is no need to ask. They are from the Shen family of Zhenwu. Xiao Chen slapped Lu Zhenming's hand away, walked over, and said, "Do you still want to know whether she has a boyfriend or not? Let me tell you, she does. Her boyfriend is the white fox. If you keep talking, be careful that the white fox comes and kills you." Ah. Lu Zhenming was shocked, and he took 2 steps back with a shiver. Oh my god, the Shen family of Zhenwu? This was the top family in the province. Even the Qing family could not compare. Moreover, especially the last sentence of Xiao Chen, Shen Jingshuan's current boyfriend is the white fox hero? He was so scared that he almost peed his pants. This was an existence that he couldn't provoke. He was almost done for. If he revealed anything to Shen Jingxian, he would be hated by the white fox swordsman. He wouldn't even know how he died. Shen Jingxian glanced at Xiao Chen and felt a little better. It seemed that Xiao Chen still cared about her, but what he said was also very funny. What did he mean by "be careful that the white fox comes and kills you"? Wasn't he the white fox? Aha! It turns out to be the white fox hero. I say, only the white fox hero is worthy of such a beautiful girl. Lu Zhenming said quickly. Lu Zhenming, what do you mean? Are you saying that I am not beautiful? Cheng Menjing stared at Lu Zhenming. No, you are worthy of the white fox hero. Lu Zhenming said quickly. Why should I be worthy of him? I don't like him. Cheng Menjing snorted and said, besides, I can't steal a man from Jingxian. Right? Right. Shen Jingshuan's heart trembled a little. Actually. Menjing, if you like him, you can also steal him. It's okay. We are sisters. We can share good things, okay? It's better to share it with others than to enjoy it alone. Jean Bebe said while eating the noodles. Share your head. Eat your noodles. Cheng Menjing kicked Jean Bebe. Yes, Miss Shen, can you introduce me to the White Fox hero? I admire him very much. Lu Zhenming asked shamelessly. Yesterday, he had just discussed the future direction of the Lu family with his father, Lu Siwen. Because he was not young anymore, Lu Siwen intended to train him to take over the family. Sometimes, intentionally or unintentionally, he would talk to him. However, Lu Zhenming was really a useless person. But some of the opinions he proposed last night were refreshing to Lu Siwen. He thought to himself that this guy was a little more enlightened recently. What Lu Zhenming proposed was whether he could have a good relationship with the White Fox hero. After all, he was a rising star of the Righteous Devil Summit in Songming. He was well known in Songming. Moreover, he was a disciple of a big sect with outstanding strength. If he could support him, even if it meant getting close to the Lu family, it would be greatly beneficial for the Lu family to maintain their status as an aristocratic family. After all, the Lu family was now an aristocratic family of the underworld. Compared with the other aristocratic families, it was really not on the same level. As long as a new aristocratic family rose, the Lu family might be squeezed out. Originally, the Lu family was not so worried when the Shao family was in a precarious situation. After all, if they wanted to squeeze out, they would have to squeeze out the Shao family first. But now it was different. The Shao family not only cooperated with the Sun family in a neighboring city, but also had a marriage alliance with the Qing family. In this way, the Shao family, which was originally at its end, suddenly began to show signs of rising again. And the Lu family became the lowest aristocratic family again. How could Lu Siwen not be anxious? Previously, in order to get closer to the ranks of the aristocratic families, Lu Siwen had used the Lu family's funds to invest in a serious business, such as real estate, car sales center, etc., spending most of the Lu family's money. Now the Lu family had the title of an aristocratic family. It belonged to the upper class of Songning City. It often participated in some upper-class gatherings. It had certain connections that could ensure the normal operation of the business. But once you were kicked out of this circle, your connections would not work. People would not do business with you, and the bank would start to urge for loans. Wouldn't that be the rhythm of bankruptcy? So, Lu Siwen was very troubled. How could he ensure that the Lu family's aristocratic family status would not fall? As a result, Lu Zhenming proposed to kneel and lick the White Fox. In fact, there was one thing that Lu Zhenming didn't dare to say. He vaguely remembered that the White Fox hero seemed to have fought in his underground black boxing arena. At that time, he wanted to teach him a lesson. Now it seemed that it was a good thing that he didn't teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he would be dead. Although he didn't know if the two White Fox heroes were the same. Thinking about it, if I had seized the opportunity, maybe the Lu family would have become rich? But he also pretended not to know about these things. Lu Siwen clapped his hands and agreed at once. As an underworld family, the Lu family had more reliable information channels than other aristocratic families. Why would the police look for informants to solve many cases? That was because this group of people in the marketplace was usually very well informed. If others didn't know, they would be the first to know. One of the reasons why the Lu family was able to rise to the top was that they secretly sold information to the warrior guild. Some of the secret information was sold by the Lu family. Therefore, in the evaluation of the aristocratic families, the warrior guild made the final decision and upgraded the Lu family to an aristocratic family. Of course, that was also because the Zheng family was not up to par. However, if there were other families like the Sun family that rose and migrated to Songning City, they could completely replace the Lu family. The Lu family wouldn't even have a place to complain. Because only in the cities with the warrior guild would the aristocratic families be recognized by the martial arts circle. Those self-titled aristocratic families in other cities were useless. Without the recognition of the warrior guild, you didn't have convenient resources. You could only be regarded as a local tyrant and couldn't be compared to others. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a problem for the Lu family to call themselves the 10th aristocratic family, but the key was that they couldn't be recognized. Moreover, the most important problem was that there were only 9 aristocratic families in the location of each warrior guild. This was the rule of the upper headquarters, and one more was not allowed. Therefore, even if you had a good relationship with the warrior guild, they couldn't give you more. Previously, the Sun family had been working hard in the direction of an aristocratic family, so they only wanted to replace one. They didn't want to establish it themselves directly. In addition to the martial arts family, the location of the Hong Chamber of Commerce would also select a few business families. Although there was no specific number, the number of each place had been fixed since the beginning, and there was no increase or decrease. When one rose, there must be a fall. This was also for balance. Previously, the Sun family wanted to replace the Xia family and become a business family, but now that the Xia family couldn't be replaced, they turned their attention to the Shao family and wanted to become a martial arts family. During this time, the Sun family had been stirring up trouble. Lu Siwen was afraid that they would come to Songning City. Lu Siwen didn't think that the Sun family would annex the Shao family. After all, the Shao family and the Qing family were united by marriage. Would the Sun family dare to annex them? In his opinion, the Sun family should want to establish themselves. It didn't matter if he didn't pay attention to it, but once he paid attention, he found many unknown secrets. The re-emergence of the Xia family and the retreat of the Sun family were closely related to a person named White Fox. Although there was no evidence that these were all done by White Fox, it was indeed a big reversal after White Fox intervened. According to his investigation, Xia Fei should be White Fox's woman. In addition, the news of White Fox's name in Songning spread. Lu Siwen increasingly felt that White Fox was not simple. This was the rhythm of the family relying on the family to prosper. If the Lu family really relied on the family, he would really have no worries. Chapter 370. Therefore, Lu Siwen agreed with Lu Zhenming's words. Zhenming, are you confident that you can establish a relationship with Hero White Fox? I think so, right? Lu Zhenming thought about it. I feel that if I am more attentive and be his underling, he should be able to accept me, right? Lu Zhenming said this without blushing because he didn't think it was shameful. Looking at Jing Xiaoquan's attitude yesterday, he definitely wanted to have a good relationship with Hero White Fox. After all, it was an honor to be able to lick the boots of a person who was much higher than you. It was something that others would be envious of. It was not shameful at all. Therefore, Lu Zhenming felt that if he succeeded, it would be worth showing off. Are you sincere or not? Are you taking advantage of him, or do you really want to do so? Lu Siwen understood Lu Zhenming's character. Although Lu Zhenming didn't say what he was doing in school, Lu Siwen had a lot of information channels. He was also asking people to pay attention to whether Lu Zhenming had successfully pursued Qing Menjing. Of course, he didn't have much hope, but he got a lot of news. In school, Lu Zhenming pretended to please Xiao Qin in order to get close to Qing Menjing. Therefore, if Lu Zhenming still had such thoughts, then he should not contact Hero White Fox as soon as possible. Hero White Fox was not Xiao Qin. It would only take a second for him to kill Lu Zhenming. Even the Lu family's ancestor didn't know if he could defeat him. But even if he could, he had the backing of a big sect. Would he dare to seek revenge on him? Of course, I'm sincere. Lu Zhenming said, if I can be the underling of Hero White Fox, how awe-inspiring would that be? The other aristocratic families would probably be envious of me. According to Jing Xiaoquan, he saw from afar that at the end of the summit, Yu Xiaochuan and Qing Mingxiang were respectful and fawning on White Fox. All right. If you want to, you can give it a try. Our Lu family's resources are at your disposal. Lu Siwen nodded and said. This happened yesterday, so Lu Zhenming was worried about how to get close to the White Fox swordsman. Jing Xiaoquan's relationship with the White Fox swordsman was just a so-so. Jing Xiaoquan could bring him to the scene, but he might not be able to interact with him. Just as he was worrying about this, an opportunity presented itself today. This was the White Fox swordsman's girlfriend. Introduce you? Let him come to our house? That's fine, but Master White Fox loves beautiful women. I'm afraid that after he sees Menjing, he'll fall in love with Menjing again. You won't have a chance then. Shen Jingxian was actually insinuating and mocking Xiao Chen. Ah. That's fine too. If Great Hero White Fox likes her, then Great Hero White Fox can have priority. I can't possibly snatch boss's woman. Ha ha ha. Lu Zhenming was dazed for a second and said. In fact, he pursued Qing Menjing mostly because of Qing Menjing's family background. Apart from that, it wasn't like he didn't have any beautiful women. Just like Kerlin from No. 1 middle school, she wasn't any worse than Qing Menjing. It was just that her family background was much worse. Therefore, if Lu Zhenming could successfully curry favor with the White Fox swordsman, then it wouldn't matter if Qing Menjing pursued him or not. It was quite difficult to pursue him. If she couldn't catch up with him, then forget it. The White Fox swordsman was more important. Qing Menjing was dazed for a second. She didn't expect the White Fox swordsman to be so powerful. Even Lu Zhenming gave up. She suddenly felt lucky that he finally gave up. Therefore, she said deliberately, well, I also admire the White Fox swordsman a little. If Jingxian can share him, I can consider it. Yes, yes. But I still think the cousin-in-law is better. The White Fox swordsman is too far away. Jean Bebe, however, said, why don't we share the cousin-in-law? Bebe, calm down and eat your noodles. Qing Menjing said angrily. But I've finished it. Jean Bebe said bitterly. Drink the soup after you finish it. Don't waste it. Qing Menjing said. Eat it all, don't waste it. Qing Menjing said. Okay. Jean Bebe continued to drink the soup. Xiao Chen felt that something was wrong, but he didn't know what to say. Looking at Lu Zhenming's silly look, he was a little speechless. This guy really doesn't know how lucky he is. He has already become my follower, but he still wants to find the White Fox swordsman. After dinner, the 5 of them went out to play. Since he had the idea of befriending the White Fox swordsman, he didn't want to pursue Qing Menjing anymore. He had always been a playboy. When had he ever pursued a girl so seriously for such a long time? He had gotten the other girls long ago. Previously, he did it for the Qing family. Now that he didn't need to do it, he didn't want to waste his energy. He said, Miss Shen, can you ask your boyfriend out so that we can have some fun together? He's very busy and can't come out, Shen Jingxian said. Oh. Forget it. I'll go to the summit tonight. Can you help me ask him out alone and introduce him to me? Lu Zhenming said, unwilling to give up. We'll see, Shen Jingxian said. Okay. Thank you, Miss Shen. Lu Zhenming was overjoyed. Jean Bebe drove her nouveau riche car, while Lu Zhenming drove an Audi Q7. Naturally, Qing Menjing and Shen Jingxian got into Jean Bebe's car. Xiao Chen thought for a while and also got into Jean Bebe's car. Lu Zhenming drove in front to lead the way. By the way, Bebe, didn't you run out of gas on Friday? Do you need to fill it up? Qing Menjing suddenly thought of it when they passed by the gas station at the entrance of the neighborhood. Oh, I heard that the gas price will be reduced tomorrow, so I filled it up today, Jean Bebe said. Qing Menjing didn't understand Jean Bebe's thinking. The gas price will be reduced tomorrow, so you filled it up today? What kind of logic was that? You have nowhere to spend your money? Oh, Xiao Lu spent it, Jean Bebe said. Pfft. Qing Menjing thought to herself that Lu Zhenming was really unlucky. Yeah. Otherwise, do you think I would have brought him to the villa? Let him wait at the entrance. Jean Bebe said. Lu Zhenming originally wanted to go for an outing today. However, because he had to watch the competition at night and had an important mission, which was to get to know swordsman White Fox, he had to change his schedule. He planned to bring Qing Menjing and the rest to the amusement park. Anyway, it would be best if he could catch up with Qing Menjing. If he couldn't, he wouldn't force it. He planned to find a chance to talk to Xiao Chen in detail and see if he had a chance. By the way, cousin-in-law, where have you been these 2 days? I heard that Zhu Yingxiong found a girlfriend. Have you seen her? I heard that she's very scary. Jean Bebe said. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. She's also your cousin-in-law, right? She's quite pretty. How is she scary? Don't listen to other people's nonsense. Oh. All right. I thought she was a fatty like Zhu Yingxiong, Jean Bebe said. Bebe, you and Menjing don't seem to have a good relationship with the Zhu family? Xiao Chen asked doubtfully. Xiao Chen didn't see Zhu Yingxiong at Qing Menjing's birthday party. Of course, it was one reason why he was under house arrest and cultivating in seclusion. However, that wasn't the main reason. The deeper reason seemed to be that the Zhu family, the Qing family, and the Jin family were not very sociable. The Zhu family. In order to develop themselves, they married their daughter to the Qing family and the Jin family. That's my mother and Bebe's mother. Qing Menjing explained. After that, the Zhu family's elder ancestor returned. The Zhu family became powerful, and they became a little arrogant. They used to be the Qing family's vassals, but now, they have their own opinions and voice. Therefore, they have less contact with us. Of course, this is the matter of the big families. It doesn't have much to do with us. However, we didn't have much contact since we were young. On the contrary, Bebe and I hung out more, so we're not familiar with each other. I see. Xiao Chen nodded. He really didn't pay attention to the situation of these families before. He focused on cultivating his internal strength, but it was all in vain in the end. Fortunately, he had the elder heaven ancestor, so he could cultivate. Their car arrived at the largest temple fair street in Songning City. There were many vendors selling everything from toys, food, and daily necessities. There were also all kinds of entertainment, including video games, darts, hoops, shooting games, and so on. At the end of the temple fair street was the largest amusement park in the city. However, the car definitely couldn't go there. They parked the car in the parking lot near the temple fair street. After getting off the car, Lu Zhenming asked, "Are we going to the temple fair street or the amusement park?" Bebe, what do you think? Qing Menjing looked at Jean Bebe. Of course we're going to the amusement park. Jean Bebe clapped her hands and said. Your sister Jingxian isn't in a good mood. Let's go to the temple fair street. Qing Menjing didn't want to go to the amusement park. She could see that Shen Jingxian wasn't in a good mood. She definitely wouldn't want to go to the amusement park. It was better to go shopping and relax. Then why did you ask me? Jean Bebe was speechless. Cousin Menjing tricked me. I'm just asking you. If you want to go to the temple fair street, I agree. If you want to go to the amusement park, I object, Qing Menjing said. After confirming the itinerary, Lu Zhenming didn't really care. As long as Qing Menjing was willing, it was fine. He smiled and said, then let's go to the temple fair street. To be honest, I haven't been here for a long time. Speaking of which, the elders in my family brought me here when I was young. Although the temple fair street was bustling, the children of the big families rarely came here. Firstly, the items here were of low quality. Secondly, they had grown up and didn't find this place interesting anymore. After entering the temple fair street, the dazzling accessories and daily necessities attracted Qing Menjing and Jean Bebe. In the big shopping malls, there definitely weren't so many kinds of things. Although the quality of the items here was obviously not as good as those in the big shopping malls, it was quite refreshing. Jean Bebe stopped asking to go to the amusement park and started shopping together. However, Lu Zhenming felt a little bored. If they went to the amusement park, he could go to the exciting amusement park with Qing Menjing. However, in this place, he couldn't get a word in the dazzling items at all. He didn't know what they were for either. Therefore, he could only follow behind as a bodyguard like Xiao Chen. Chapter 371. Xiao Chen, your daily life is boring enough. Lu Zhenming thought, if I don't come, it is estimated that Xiao Chen will follow me alone. How boring it is. Moreover, his desire to pursue Qing Menjing had faded, and he no longer respected Xiao Chen. If he could successfully lick the boots of the white fox, he didn't intend to focus on Qing Menjing. It would be great if he could succeed, but he wouldn't regret it if he couldn't. Therefore, he used to call Xiao Chen or Xiao Chen boss. Now, he directly called him Xiao Chen. It's okay. Xiao Chen said indifferently, why? You don't want to pursue her? Xiao Chen was very keen. He roughly saw Lu Zhenming's thoughts. Although he didn't know why he gave up, it seemed that he didn't want to continue. It's not that I don't want to pursue her, but Qing Menjing doesn't seem to have much feelings for me. Xiao Chen, what kind of boy do you think she likes? Asked Lu Zhenming. It doesn't matter what kind of boy she likes. The main thing is the Qing family's intention. I used to be her fiancé. Now, with a word from the Qing family, I'm not. Xiao Chen saw that he was not interested, and he was too lazy to pretend to be courteous with him. This guy's value was not as good as Qin Jinpeng. He couldn't squeeze anything out of him. Besides, Xiao Chen wasn't short of money now. I see. Lu Zhenming seemed to be enlightened after listening, and then he patted Xiao Chen's shoulder. This sentence is right on the point. The money I spent on you during this time is not in vain. However, Xiao Chen, if you say that my family goes to the Qing family to propose marriage, will the Qing family agree? No. Xiao Chen said straightforwardly. Even if he could, he couldn't. Why? Lu Zhenming asked blankly. The Chao family went to propose marriage, but they didn't give a clear answer. The Qing family is now waiting for the best price. Besides, they just married the Xiao family. It's impossible for them to marry again in a short time. Xiao Chen bluffed. What he said seemed to be a problem, but in fact, it didn't make any sense at all. The marriage between the Qing family and the Xiao family didn't affect the marriage with other families at all. However, after Lu Zhenming heard it, he nodded in agreement and said, that makes sense. Xiao Chen, do you think I should continue to pursue Qing Menjing? How would I know? Do as you see fit. If Xiao Chen said no, Lu Zhenming was a very suspicious person. Who knew, he might suspect something. Xiao Chen would let Lu Zhenming think about it himself. That was his problem. Well, I'll go back and think about it. Lu Zhenming nodded. While they were talking, they suddenly heard a quarrel in front of them. Many people surrounded them. Qing Menjing, Jin Beibei, and Shen Jingxian also went to watch the show. Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming also followed them. To Xiao Chen's surprise, Xiao Chen knew the person who was quarreling. It turned out to be Kerlin. Xiao Chen didn't expect that Kerlin would appear here. Apparently, Kerlin didn't come here alone. She was accompanied by a young girl, who looked familiar to Xiao Chen. However, he couldn't remember where he had seen her. However, Xiao Chen was sure that they had met before. Give me back my binoculars. The girl beside Kerlin stared at the two men in front of her fiercely and stretched out her hand. It's just a binoculars. Why are you so stingy? You have a big bag. Don't you think I'll pay you? The man said indifferently. I didn't say that I would sell it to you. Who cares about your money? Here you are. The girl still had 100 yuan in her hand. 100 yuan is not enough for you to buy a binoculars? What's wrong with you? Don't waste my time. I'm busy. The man frowned and ignored the girl. He picked up the binoculars and looked at them. Hearing that, Xiao Chen was enlightened. He remembered who the girl was. Isn't she the girl who sold my binoculars to me in the Warriors Guild? Her binoculars cost 10,000 yuan. It was a sky-high price. In the end, the cost of the binoculars was only a few dozen yuan. The quality and workmanship of the binoculars were much worse than those used by the military. This girl was indeed Lu Shuangshuang. Lu Shuangshuang's home was also in Shanty Town. She was neighbors with Kerlin. She had a sick grandmother and a younger brother who was in middle school. Her parents divorced when they were very young. No one wanted them, so they only lived with their grandmother. It was said that their mother married a rich family, and their father was a gambler. So, no one cared about them. In the past, it was their grandmother who collected trash to support them. Now that their grandmother was sick, Lu Shuangshuang had to drop out of school early to shoulder the burden of the family. Her grandmother's illness was relatively rare. It was a blood disease. As she got older, the treatment for bone marrow transplant was very shared. Moreover, the medical fees were very high. So, she could only take medicine every month to maintain her condition. Even so, the monthly medical fees were as high as 10,000 yuan. For a weak girl like Lu Shuangshuang, it was an astronomical sum. For a girl of her age, when her family was in trouble and she was in urgent need of money, there were only two paths she could take. She could either be a mistress or be sold, or she could go down the evil path and steal. But Lu Shuangshuang did not do that. She was a girl with self-respect. With her strong willpower, she managed to convince Tai Muching of the Hong Chamber of Commerce to let her run the binoculars business in the Warriors Guild. Although each binoculars had to be sold in half, the profit was enough to satisfy Lu Shuangshuang. One binoculars had a profit of nearly 5,000 yuan. On average, she could sell 2 or 3 binoculars every month. This way, her medical fees and her brother's school fees would be settled. Of course, she could not sell 2 or 3 binoculars every month. Some months, there were more, and some months, there were none. And this month, it was the peak season. Because the righteous and demonic Songming Summit was being held. Other than the warriors who participated in the challenge, there were many warriors who came to watch the show. They would also wander around the Warriors Guild. This way, they would become Lu Shuangshuang's business partners. Lu Shuangshuang had just bought a batch of binoculars and stuck the Hong Chamber of Commerce's logo on it. She did not expect that one of them would be snatched away by someone. If it was an ordinary binocular without a logo, Lu Shuangshuang would have given it to him. After all, the purchase price of 30 yuan wasn't much, not to mention that the person had given her 100 yuan. However, the binoculars with the logo were different. The logo alone was worth 5,000 yuan. Binoculars without the logo were private goods. She could not bring them into the Warriors Guild because there were guards at the entrance of the Warriors Guild. In the Warriors Guild, only items from the Hong Chamber of Commerce could be sold. Other than that, there were no other shops. This was a rule that had been established a long time ago when the Warriors Guild was established. That was why Lu Shuangshuang was anxious. If it was snatched away, wouldn't she be making a huge loss? Moreover, once the logo was stuck on, it could not be taken off. It was fragile with lasers. If it was taken off, it would be damaged. It's not enough. Lu Shuangshuang said, "Give it back to me quickly." "How much do you want?" The man asked impatiently. 10,000 yuan. Lu Shuangshuang said, "If not, give it back to me." F***ck. The man was furious. Pa! He threw the binoculars in his hand on the ground. It broke into pieces, and the parts were everywhere. "Are you F***king scamming me?" "Little girl, let me tell you, even if you want to scam people, you have to choose a good target. Do you know who I am?" "You." "I don't care who you are. Give me 10,000 yuan. You broke my binoculars." He didn't want to sell it to you. If you think it's expensive, you don't want it, but you can't break it. Lu Shuangshuang was anxious. Did you see that? This little girl is scamming people. She dares to ask me for 10,000 yuan for a broken binoculars. Have you gone crazy thinking about money? The man laughed out loud. The onlookers around also had all kinds of opinions. Some people sided with Lu Shuangshuang and thought that she was right. He didn't want to sell it to you. If you forced him to buy it, then there was nothing wrong with him asking for 10,000 yuan. But some people thought that Lu Shuangshuang was using this opportunity to scam people. How much can this broken binoculars cost? There is a wholesale stall not far away. It's only 30 to 40 yuan. Giving you 100 yuan is already a high price. They only sell it for 50 yuan. Alright, brother Ma, give her another 500 yuan. Let's go. Don't waste time here. Another man beside the arrogant man spoke. Humph, then I will listen to you. The man called Brother Ma took out another 500 yuan from his pocket and threw it in front of Lu Shuangshuang. I will give you another 500 yuan. Is that okay? What okay? You broke my binoculars. Hurry up and give me 10,000 yuan. Otherwise, I will call the police. Lu Shuangshuang was anxious. What can 500 yuan do? The cost is 5,030 yuan. F*ck, I'm giving you face, aren't I? You think I don't dare to hit a woman? Brother Ma was anxious. You F*king want 10,000 yuan for a broken binoculars? Why don't you say that your binoculars are gold-rimmed? Don't be angry. Shuangshuang's binoculars are indeed worth 10,000 yuan. I can testify to this. Lin said weakly. She knew Lu Shuangshuang's family situation and knew about her binoculars. So she said, how about, you give her 5,000 yuan for the cost and I won't take your money, you can testify. Brother Ma looked like he heard the funniest joke in the world. You two are in cahoots. What's the use of you testifying? I think you two have gone crazy thinking about money. How about this, you two sleep with me and Brother Chu, and I will give you both 10,000 yuan each. You. Don't insult us. Lin was a little anxious. We were just talking about the binoculars. Don't say such unpleasant things. If you don't want to listen, then go away. I am leaving. Brother Ma snorted and reached out to push Lin and Lu Shuangshuang away. Chapter 372. Shen Jingxian walked over and said, you guys can't be reasonable. I watched from the side for a while and understood what happened. They didn't want to sell you the telescope, but you forced them to buy it. They didn't want it, but you insisted on buying it. In the end, they had no choice but to sell it. They offered 10,000 yuan, but you didn't accept it. You could have just returned the telescope to them, and everything would have been fine. But you broke the telescope, and that's your fault. It's not good for you to do that. You should compensate them 10,000 yuan. Her personality was like this. She used to be like this in school. Actually, it wasn't that she was a busybody. In fact, she was the kind of person who would reason with others. The incident didn't involve Lin, so Xiaochen didn't plan on doing anything. To be honest, he didn't have a good impression of Lu Shuangshuang. He had been blackmailed before, but he had won. Looking at her sour face, it was as if she had given him some kind of treasure. Xiaochen thought, why is this girl so stingy? Why is she so distressed over a telescope? Now that he thought about it, she was too much of a money grubber. Of course, Xiaochen didn't know that the Hong Chamber of Commerce took such a large cut. If he knew, he wouldn't have thought anything was wrong. Now that Lin was speaking up for Lu Shuangshuang, Xiaochen was a little confused. Why was Lin playing with a money grubber like Lu Shuangshuang? Just as he was wondering, Shen Jingxian spoke up for her. Ah, big sister Jingxian. Lin knew Shen Jingxian. They were in the same school. Seeing Shen Jingxian speak up for her, she was very grateful. What? So what if you have more people? Let me tell you, it's none of your business. Go away and don't hurt yourself. Senior Brother Chu, tell them who we are. Don't think that we're easy to bully. Junior Brother Ma snorted. We're martial artists. Let me tell you, we don't want to cause trouble. Don't cause trouble for your family when the time comes. Senior Brother Chu was starting to get impatient. He coldly snorted and revealed their identities. We're martial artists. Let me tell you this. Although most people did not know about martial artists, in his opinion, these scammers would definitely know about it. If he said it to scare them, they would stop. Since we're on the same path, it'll be even easier. Shen Jingxian frowned slightly. She had always disliked using her identity and reputation as a member of the Shen family to oppress others. However, since this person had revealed his identity as a martial artist, Shen Jingxian could only use her own identity to explain things. Actually, Shen Jingxian preferred to use her own way of expressing herself to make them realize their mistake. I'm from the Shen family of Zhenwu. My name is Shen Jingxian. Since we're all martial artists, let's not make a big deal out of this. 10,000 yuan isn't much. You're the one who wanted to buy it, not the other way around, right? The Shen family of Zhenwu? Senior brother Chu was slightly taken aback. He hadn't expected to run into someone of the same level here. However, he wasn't afraid. It was just as he'd said, they didn't want to make a big deal out of it. After all, the organizers of the Songming Summit had clearly stated that they weren't allowed to cause trouble in the secular world. They couldn't attack ordinary people at will. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau had already gotten involved, so they couldn't do whatever they wanted in the secular world. Don't use this to pressure us. It's useless. Let me tell you, we're from the Golden Bell sect. We're not afraid of you. No matter what, this telescope is worth 10,000 yuan. So don't meddle in other people's business. If there's nothing else, hurry up and leave. Otherwise, I won't dare hit them, but I can hit you. Since you're from the Zhenwu family, you should understand that there are no taboos between us. Junior brother Ma threatened faintly. He could tell at a glance that Shen Jingxian didn't have much strength. This was why he dared to threaten her. Xiao Chen, you still dare to cause trouble? Jingxian is in trouble. Can't you stand up for her? Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Chen behind her and said with some dissatisfaction. In fact, she wanted to urge Lu Zhenming to make a move. It was just that Xiao Chen couldn't help but smile bitterly. If it was an ordinary person, it wouldn't be a problem to let Lu Zhenming go. After all, Lu Zhenming's family was the real local tyrant. However, now he was facing two warriors from the Golden Bell sect. They weren't ordinary people. If Lu Zhenming went up, it would be suicide. It seemed that Miss didn't understand the situation here. But it was no wonder. The Qing family was already the most powerful existence in Songming City. They rarely heard about the Zhenwu family in sections. Especially for a girl like Qing Menjing, she wouldn't often pay attention to it. However, Xiao Chen couldn't expose his strength now. If he could, he would have kicked them to death. How dare they threaten Shen Jingxian? They must be tired of living. However, Miss didn't know much about it, but Lu Zhenming did. Lu Zhenming had been studying the real martial family and the sects for the past few days. He knew that these sects and the real martial family were very powerful existences, and the White Fox was one of the best among them. In the eyes of these two, he was nothing. Even if they killed him, there would be no way to reason with them. They couldn't attack ordinary people, but the Lu family, which was also an ordinary family, could basically avoid it. Therefore, Lu Zhenming was in a bit of a dilemma. Normally, he would have rushed up. It would be a good opportunity to show off in front of Qing Menjing. However, just because he couldn't attack them didn't mean he couldn't scare them. With a sudden inspiration, Xiao Chen walked over and pointed at Shen Jingxian. What Golden Bell sect and Silver Bell sect? Do you two know who she is? Who is she? Brother Chu was stunned. Isn't she from the Zhen Wushan family? Who are you? Is this what you're wondering too? You have quite a lot of people here, but it's useless. Kid, which family are you from? Do you want to stand out too? Why don't we have a fight? Junior brother Ma looked coldly at Xiao Chen and threatened. She's a woman from the Zhen Wushan family, but I'm afraid you don't know about her other powerful identity, right? Xiao Chen snorted coldly. You'll be scared to death if I tell you. What identity? Senior brother Chu and junior brother Ma were stunned. She couldn't be a disciple of some big sect, right? However, her identity was about the same as theirs. Even if Shen Jingxian had two identities, she shouldn't be scared to death, right? She's White Fox Hero's girlfriend. Xiao Chen said proudly. G.A. Senior brother Chu and junior brother Ma trembled when they heard White Fox Hero's name. Who among the martial artists who came to attend the summit didn't know about White Fox Hero? He was a thunderous existence. Moreover, they had seen with their own eyes how White Fox Hero trampled Li Shaoning to death and whipped Leng Youxiang to death. They couldn't afford to provoke such a ruthless person. However, junior brother Ma was quick-witted. Although he was shocked, he quickly reacted and felt that something was wrong. You said she's White Fox's girlfriend? Is that true? As far as I know, White Fox is from the demonic star sect. I've never heard of him having a girlfriend. You're all locals, right? Moreover, the Zhen Wuxian family is far from the demonic star sect. How could the two families be related? Why haven't I heard of it? Senior brother Chu finally reacted. Indeed, a marriage alliance between a sect and a family was a big deal. They would definitely announce it to the public. There was no way it would be done in secret. Moreover, White Fox was from the demonic star sect. According to the Demon League's usual style, marriage alliances were usually between a few sects that belonged to the Demon League. Although the Shen family could be considered a part of the Demon League, they weren't pure, so there was no precedent of such a thing happening. Moreover, this Shen Jingxian didn't look like she had much strength. How could she possibly have a marriage alliance with White Fox? That's right. Just because you say so. As senior brother Chu mulled over this, junior brother Ma's words made sense. Don't use these things to scare people. We can forget about today's matter. Alright, forget it then. I'll give the 10,000 yuan to that girl. Shen Jingxian also felt that these two were stubborn. Since they didn't want to listen, she didn't want to continue arguing. Forget it? How could it be so easy? No, unless this little bitch kneels down, apologizes to me, and gives me the binoculars in her bag. Otherwise, this isn't over. These two girls can forget about leaving. If they don't give me an explanation, I'll catch them to warm my bed tonight. Junior brother Ma snorted coldly. In his opinion, the other party was just bluffing. If they had the guts, then use them. Who didn't know how to bring people up? What was the point of saying that he knew the presidents of the Warrior Red Society and the Hong Chamber of Commerce? So you're not giving face to White Fox? Xiao Chen's tone turned cold. Catch Kerlin to warm his bed? I haven't even warmed Kerlin's bed yet, and you're warming her first? Shen Jingxian frowned. She hadn't expected these two to be so arrogant. She'd already said forget it, so why couldn't they just give up? It's not that I'm not giving face to White Fox, but who do you think you are? Can you confess on behalf of White Fox? Junior brother Ma didn't dare to speak carelessly. The walls had ears. If White Fox really heard it, wouldn't he be kicked to death by White Fox? White Fox was obviously a very ruthless and violent person. Every time he attacked, he would kill his opponent. If he could avoid provoking this kind of person, he would definitely not provoke him. Xiao Chen. You go and call White Fox. Tell him that I'm in trouble here. Ask him to come over. Shen Jingxian hesitated and said, my phone is out of battery. You go to a public phone to call. Oh, okay. Xiao Chen nodded, turned around, and ran. Hey, I have a mobile phone. Cheng Menjing wanted to stop Xiao Chen, but she saw that he had already run far away. She was a little annoyed. Why is this person so stupid? Didn't brother-in-law bring a mobile phone? Jean Bebe said curiously. Who knows? This guy is careless. Who knows what he's doing? Maybe he didn't bring it. Cheng Menjing shook her head. Chapter 373. Ha 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 ha. You called White Fox? Why didn't you do it in front of me? You even went to a public phone? Are you serious? That's too much of a lie. Junior brother Ma laughed hysterically. Can you stop joking around? I'm seriously wondering if you're from the Shen family of Jinwu. Junior brother Ma, why don't we just let this go? Senior brother Chu felt that something was wrong. Although it was obvious that the other party was a scammer, he still felt uneasy. It was as if he'd overlooked something important. Young lady, give us another pair of binoculars. We'll forget about the 600 yuan from before. Let's just forget about this. What do you think? Shen Jingxian was about to agree when Lu Shuangshuang objected. No, I can't give you another pair of binoculars. You. Senior brother Chu wondered if there was something wrong with this girl's head. She's still not going to compromise at this point? Do you still want to lie to me? What's the value of a pair of binoculars? Why do you have to do this? It won't be good for anyone if things get out of hand. If she doesn't want to, then I'll just wait here and see who you can find. I said that this isn't over. No one can help you. Senior brother, don't waste your breath on them. Junior brother Ma crossed his arms and sneered. That's fine. If we leave now, people might think that we're unreasonable and afraid of the Shen family of Jinwu. Senior brother Chu nodded. They didn't dare to provoke White Fox, but they couldn't tolerate the Shen family of Jinwu using White Fox's name to pressure them. No one can help you? A cold voice sounded behind senior brother Chu and junior brother Ma, of course. Gah. Junior brother Ma was about to turn around and say something when he saw the person behind him. He jumped in fright and almost fell to the ground. Xiao Chen was secretly complaining. This goddess really thought highly of him. He didn't wear a mask when he went out today. If he didn't have a backpack, he wouldn't be able to carry it around with him. Fortunately, this was Temple Street. Xiao Chen found a stall that sold masks and bought a similar one to wear on his face. Then, he found a chef's uniform and put it on. It looked a little out of place, but he'd make do. White Fox. Senior brother Chu was also shocked and took 2 steps back. Xiao Chen glanced at senior brother Chu and junior brother Ma and said coldly, I know what happened. She didn't want to sell the telescope to you, but you insisted on buying it. Give her $10,000 and apologize to my girlfriend. Senior brother Chu and junior brother's expressions flickered. They were afraid of White Fox, but they also didn't believe. Only 20 minutes had passed, and it would take at least 40 minutes to drive from here to the Jing family's dojo. How did this White Fox hero get here? White. Therefore, they felt that there must be something wrong here. Are you a White Fox? Junior brother Ma rolled his eyes and asked tentatively. Hurry up and make your choice. Could it be that you want to challenge me? Asked Xiao Chen coldly. A challenge. As junior brother Ma spoke, he carefully sized up Xiao Chen. When he suddenly discovered that Xiao Chen had a price tag on his mask, he was instantly delighted. On the label, the words 20.00 inch were clearly written. The label was brand new, and it was obvious that the mask was newly bought. How could this be the White Fox hero? That was impossible. White Fox's mask had been used for 2 days. Even if it was newly bought, it couldn't possibly be so new. Furthermore, upon closer inspection, the mask still had some rough edges. Logically speaking, these rough edges would fall off after a long time, but this person was obviously wearing a brand new one. Ha 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 ha. Challenge? Alright, you don't have to pretend. Aren't you that Xiao something who went to make the call just now? You went to buy a fox mask, put it on, and then pretend to be a white fox to trick me, right? Look at the price tag on it. It's 20 yuan. Ha ha ha, would a white fox use street goods? Junior brother Ma pointed at Xiao Chen and suddenly burst into laughter. Who are you trying to fool? I was wondering why you didn't make the call here. You went to a public phone booth to make a call. I guessed that there was something going on. What do you think? I was right, wasn't I? As soon as junior brother Ma finished speaking, Shen Jingshuan's phone rang in her bag. Shen Jingshuan's face also turned red. She felt a little awkward and didn't want to answer, but the phone wouldn't stop ringing. She could only take it out and look at the caller ID. It was her little brother. Hey, Jingmao, what's wrong? Shen Jingxian lowered her voice. I'm busy here. If there's anything, say it quickly. Ah, sister, brother White Fox isn't with Yi Bia today. He went out. I don't know what he's doing. Do you know? Shen Jingmao was a reliable spy. He would inform Shen Jingxian immediately if there was any news. I got it. Alright, I'll hang up first. Shen Jingxian quickly hung up the phone and put it back in her bag. Keep pretending, will you? You are all liars like them, right? Junior brother Ma looked at Shen Jingxian coldly. When did the Zhenwushan family change their profession to be liars? That's really strange. At this time, even Cheng Menjing looked at the White Fox in confusion. Although she didn't pay much attention to Xiao Chen, at this moment, the person in front of her seemed to be similar to Xiao Chen. Could it be that Xiao Chen had imitated him? But his voice was different. Thinking of this, Cheng Menjing was a little anxious. She thought that Shen Jingxian wouldn't be so outrageous as to ask Xiao Chen to pretend to be the White Fox. But her phone was clearly charged. Jean Bebe also looked at the swordsman White Fox in front of her with a weird expression. Her eyes finally fell on his shoes. Then she shouted, "Swordsman White Fox, beat him to death. If you perform well, Bebe will like you in the future. You want to challenge me? Okay, now?" Xiao Chen said coldly as he looked at junior brother Ma, who was smiling foolishly. There was no lack of people who thought that they were ignorant in this world. For example, the person in front of him clearly had a peaceful solution, but he didn't choose it. Instead, he wanted to challenge him. Therefore, Xiao Chen had to fulfill his wish. Yes, now. Come on, hit me. Junior brother Ma looked at Xiao Chen mockingly. Oh, as you wish. As soon as Xiao Chen finished speaking, his hand shot out like lightning, slapping junior brother Ma's face. With a pang sound, junior brother Ma was sent flying and landed heavily on the ground. He twitched a few times and spat out a mouthful of blood. Although Xiao Chen showed mercy and didn't kill him, it was clear that he had suffered severe internal injuries. Level 8 Inner Strength. Senior brother Chu. Run. He's the White Fox. After saying this, junior brother Ma fainted directly. Where could senior brother Chu run to? Junior brother Ma could tell that the person in front of him was the White Fox, so how could senior brother Chu not? Senior brother Chu wanted to cry. It didn't matter where senior brother Chu bought the mask or whether it was from a street stall. He really was the White Fox hero. Senior brother Chu was only a level 6 inner strength martial artist. Why the hell would he run? Even if he ran, he would still be slapped back. He was so scared that he knelt on the ground. He knew how ruthless the White Fox was. If he was beaten to death, then he would die in vain. Who told you to challenge him? If you were beaten to death, then the organizers of the Righteous and Demonic Summit wouldn't say anything. You can only blame your bad luck. I'm sorry, White Fox hero. We were blind. We didn't know that she was your girlfriend. Senior brother Chu suddenly understood. Shen Jingxian? She said her name was Shen Jingxian? That's right. The disciple from the Zhen Wushan family who was knocked off the stage by Li Shaning yesterday was called Shen Jingmao. Moreover, it was indeed the White Fox hero who caught him and beat Li Shaning to death to avenge Shen Jingmao. Wasn't it obvious that the White Fox hero was related to the Zhen Wushan family? Why would the White Fox hero stand up for Shen Jingmao? How stupid. Why hadn't I thought of this before? Looking at junior brother Ma's appearance, it was obvious that he had suffered a very serious internal injury. It was estimated that he would have to admit defeat in this summit challenge. If I'd thought of this relationship earlier, I wouldn't have allowed junior brother Ma to act so arrogantly in front of the White Fox hero. Now, not only had he failed to act cool, but he'd also been beaten to a pulp. Senior brother Chu didn't even know if he could escape this calamity. I said, I'll give her 10,000 yuan and apologize to my girlfriend. Then, I'll let this matter go. Xiao Chen didn't intend to continue beating senior brother Chu. After all, there was no point in beating him up. It was more important to resolve this matter. He'd already established his dominance, so it would be unreasonable if he crippled senior brother Chu as well. However, the two of you challenged me. One of you is lying on the ground, and the other is kneeling on the ground and admitting defeat. You can talk to the summit yourselves about this. All right. I'll talk to them. We lost, so we'll definitely pay up. Senior brother Chu's heart was bleeding. If the two of them returned to the Golden Bell sect, they'd definitely be reprimanded. Originally, the elders of the sect had hoped that the two of them would make a name for themselves at the summit. Who would have thought that they'd be beaten so badly before they even had a chance to fight? Oh, then hurry up and don't waste time. Xiao Chen said. Yes, here's 10,000 yuan. No, 20,000 yuan as compensation for the binoculars. Senior brother Chu hurriedly took out 2 stacks of cash from his bag and handed them to Lu Shuangshuang. Lu Shuangshuang was dumbfounded, especially when she heard junior brother Ma say that he'd reached stage 8 inner force before he died. Was this person in front of her an inner force stage 8 expert? Was it true? Lu Shuangshuang hung around the warrior guild every day, so she knew what an inner force stage 8 meant. Even a stage 4 inner force cultivator was respected by many people there. An inner force stage 4 inner force cultivator was a top-notch existence, let alone an inner force stage 8 inner force cultivator. Strong, too strong. Lu Shuangshuang's mind began to race. If she could form a good relationship with this person, wouldn't she have a backer in the future? But, would he even care about her? Chapter 374. Alright, take it. Xiao Chen took the money and handed it to Lu Shuangshuang. Ah, thank you. Lu Shuangshuang quickly said, but 10,000 is enough. Although she was greedy for money, she knew that this money was given to Hero White Fox. It wasn't right for her to take it all. You're welcome. I'm returning the 10,000 to you, Xiao Chen said faintly. I took your telescope for free last time. This time, I'm returning it to you. Ah. Lu Shuangshuang immediately remembered who the person in front of her was. No wonder she felt that this mask looked familiar. Wasn't this the person who won her binoculars for free at the Warrior Guild? She couldn't help but exclaim, "It's you." That's right, it's me. Xiao Chen smiled. Take your friend and leave this place. Also, your telescope is too expensive. You don't understand. It's not that I want it to be so expensive. Next time you go to the Warrior Guild, I'll tell you in detail. Lu Shuangshuang originally wanted to find someone to rely on. If Hero White Fox had a friendly conversation with her in the Warrior Guild, people would definitely think that she was related to Hero White Fox and wouldn't dare to bully her anymore. Her idea was quite simple. She just wanted to use the tiger's skin as a shield. Oh, all right. Let's talk about it when we have time. Xiao Chen nodded. Lin was a little afraid of Xiao Chen. She knew that this person in the fox mask was Xiao Chen, and he actually killed someone again. How terrifying. Lin, who had slightly let down her guard against Xiao Chen, began to feel afraid again. I must pretend that I don't know him. Otherwise, will he kill me to keep my mouth shut? I'm sorry, Heroine Shen. I apologize on behalf of my junior brother. Senior brother Chu walked in front of Shen Jingxian and apologized. Forget it, it's nothing. Don't be so overbearing in the future. It's not right. You can't take advantage of your power to bully others. Shen Jingxian said. The corner of senior brother Chu's mouth twitched. But when he thought about it carefully, he realized that White Fox hadn't really been a bully. She'd given him a chance, but junior brother Ma didn't believe her. He hurriedly walked over and helped junior brother Ma to his feet. Junior brother Ma had also woken up, but he couldn't speak. He glanced fearfully at Xiao Chen, then quickly left with senior brother Chu. The onlookers originally thought that someone had died, but they found out that the person was not dead and could still walk, so they stopped watching and left one after another. On the other hand, Lin Kuer heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily, he didn't kill anyone this time. Otherwise, under the watchful eyes of the public, the police would definitely arrest him. Lu Shuangshuang wanted to say a few more words, but Lin dragged her away. After a few steps, Lu Shuangshuang said, "What are you doing, Ku-er? I still want to talk to Hero White Fox. If he can support me in the warrior guild, my business will be much easier in the future. Hey, listen to me. Don't get in touch with him. He's not a good person." Lin said anxiously. What if Xiao Chen fell for Lu Shuangshuang and forced himself on her? She couldn't bring harm to her good friend. In any case, in Lin's mind, Xiao Chen was not a good person. Lin thought that he was with Tang Tang, but she didn't expect him to be with Shen Jingxian under another identity. Shen Jingxian was the same. She pretended to be a goddess on the surface, but she was secretly with Xiao Chen behind Qing Menjing's back. How can the children of the big families be so filthy? Lin thought. She really felt sorry for Tang Tang. She knew that Xiao Chen liked Shen Jingxian, but she never thought that Shen Jingxian would really be with Xiao Chen. However, this had little to do with her. She just needed to keep an eye on Lu Shuangshuang and not let her go astray. Huh? How can he not be a good person? Lu Shuangshuang thought that although she used to think that Xiao Chen was very hateful and cheated her binoculars, but after this incident, her impression of him had changed greatly. She felt that he was a righteous person and very easy to talk to. She felt a little strange. Why was Lin so prejudiced against him? Obviously, Master White Fox came to stand up for them. How could she say that he was not good? Lin was not such an ungrateful person. Oh, don't ask. Anyway, he is not very good. I'm afraid. Lin didn't continue. She suddenly realized that she had said too much. What are you afraid of? Are you hiding something from me? Lu Shuangshuang and Lin grew up together. She knew her character very well. She knew that Lin would not hate a person for no reason. Even in their slums, there was a lazy Chen Lotzi who always went to other people's houses to borrow money and things. Lin Kuer would occasionally help him, but it wasn't to the extent of speaking ill of him. No. What can happen to me? Lin was a little incoherent. There must be something. Tell me, did you know about White Fox before? Lu Shuangshuang's eyes turned as if she thought of something. I know. You must like White Fox, right? You are afraid that I will get in touch with him, and then I will steal your man, right? Ha ha ha, look at your red face. I guessed it right? Lin blushed because she lied. How was it because she liked Xiao Chen? Although she once told Xiao Chen that Xiao Chen could pursue her if he studied hard. Now that she thought about it, it was so ridiculous. Those who were with Xiao Chen were all goddess-like existences like Shen Jingxian. I'm afraid he just wants to play around, right? Now, I'm afraid he doesn't even have the interest to play, right? Although Lin was grateful to Xiao Chen and felt that he had helped her and her family a lot, and now he helped Lu Shuangshuang, to be honest, Lin was really afraid of Xiao Chen. She didn't understand Xiao Chen's world. She couldn't imagine the level of a martial artist. She just wanted to live an ordinary life. Those fighting and killing things were too scary. Lin couldn't imagine how worried she would be if she became Xiao Chen's woman. Would she be scared to death? Therefore, she was very afraid to have too much interaction with Xiao Chen. She was really afraid. She was an ordinary girl who just wanted to live an ordinary life. Therefore, she was very worried that Lu Shuangshuang would have some interaction with Xiao Chen. She knew that Lu Shuangshuang was sometimes very utilitarian. Although she was clean, if Xiao Chen had any ideas, it would be difficult for Lu Shuangshuang to resist. Then, their future would be really hard to predict. Therefore, Kerlin didn't want her good friend to fall into it. I like him, okay? Kerlin thought that if she admitted it, then Lu Shuangshuang would definitely not have that kind of idea anymore. After all, she was her good friend. Why would she steal her man? Oh. Lu Shuangshuang was a little surprised. She didn't expect that she guessed it right. It was hard for her to imagine that Kerlin, who had been studying hard, actually had a crush on him. Really? You two know each other? When I was kidnapped by Red Hair, he was actually the one who saved me. I didn't tell you the truth at that time. Kerlin began to make up a story and told her what happened at that time. So it was the hero saving the beauty. Lu Shuangshuang smiled faintly. But, he already has a girlfriend. You want to be a mistress? Anyway, the martial artists don't care about these things. Kerlin's goal was to make Lu Shuangshuang give up, so she began to talk nonsense. She didn't hesitate to sully herself by saying that she wanted to be a mistress. So, Shuangshuang, you won't fight with me, right? I didn't even think about this. You like him, but I don't. I just want him to support me so that my business in the warrior guild will be better. Lu Shuangshuang said. Phew, that's good. Kerlin let out a sigh of relief. No matter what, she had said so much. As long as Lu Shuangshuang gave up her interest in Xiao Qin, it would be fine. You. But I have to advise you. Don't think about being a mistress. Look at White Fox. He looks impressive, but his girlfriend is from the martial arts family. Do you understand the martial arts family? It's a level higher than those aristocratic families in Songning. If you were to become a mistress, wouldn't the main wife make you suffer every day? You have to think this through. When the time comes, you'll be alone and weak. You'll be bullied. Lu Shuangshuang turned around to advise Lin Kuer. Okay. I was just thinking about it. Let's not talk about this. Hurry up and finish shopping. I will go back home to sell noodles. You are going to the warrior guild to sell binoculars, right? Kerlin didn't want to talk about this topic anymore. Okay. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. She was quite happy. More than 10,000 yuan of profit came into her account today. It was really good. Kerlin and Lu Shuangshuang left. Junior brother Ma and senior brother Chu also left. Naturally, Xiaochen also had to leave. He said to Jingxian, I have something to do. I have to go now. Call me if you need anything. After saying that, Xiaochen made a gesture to make a phone call. Then, he pretended to leave. Okay, you can go now. Shen Jingshuan's expression suddenly became cold again. Xiaochen sighed. It seemed that Goddess Shen was still angry. However, he couldn't persuade her here. If he stayed here for too long, he would be exposed. Therefore, he turned around and left directly. Cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe suddenly shouted. Xiaochen was immediately startled, but he still turned his head around very slowly and looked in Jean Bebe's direction in confusion. Where is cousin-in-law? Why isn't he back yet? Jean Bebe asked Cheng Menjing with a smile. Who knows where he is? He must have been electrocuted while making a phone call. Cheng Menjing was also a little puzzled. What is this guy doing? Why hasn't he come back for so long? Is it because he is afraid to come back because there are warriors here? However, Xiaochen doesn't seem to be that kind of weak person. It's so strange. Xiaochen sweated heavily. He left quickly and found a place where nobody was around. After taking off all his clothes, he walked back quickly. Chapter 375. Ah, cousin-in-law, you're back. Jean Bebe said. What do you mean by back? Xiaochen was dazed. I went to make a call just now, and then I came back. Jean Bebe said, right. Why were you gone for so long? Cousin Menjing said that you were electrocuted by the phone. Pooh. I drank too much water because I was in a hurry. I searched for a toilet for a long time. Right. Is Swordsman White Fox here? Xiao Chen scratched his head. He thought that Jean Bebe had noticed something, but it seemed that he had been overthinking. Oh. Don't you know whether or not Swordsman White Fox is here, cousin-in-law? Jean Bebe asked. How would I know? Xiao Chen was shocked again. He kept feeling that Jean Bebe seemed to be implying something. Did this cunning girl really see through him? Wasn't it you who called, cousin-in-law? Why don't you know? Jean Bebe asked in confusion. Bebe, what nonsense are you talking about? Cheng Menjing interrupted her. All right, Xiao Chen, you're back. Let's go. Don't stand here. Somebody is bound to be pointing at us. All right. Xiao Chen nodded. He found Lu Zhenming, who was somewhat dumbfounded, and asked, Little Lu, what's wrong with you? Pa. Lu Zhenming slapped his head in regret. He cried, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. It was the best opportunity to meet Swordsman White Fox, and I missed it. I was so shocked just now that I didn't realize what was going on. Gosh, I'm screwed. I'm so unlucky. I didn't even know how to take advantage of such a good opportunity. If I had gone up to meet him, I would have definitely remembered him. Xiao Chen was immediately lost for words. I have his number. Should I ask him to come back so that you can meet him? I don't dare to do that. If he heard that I had nothing to do, he would beat me to death. I don't want to become that junior brother Ma. It's too miserable. Lu Zhenming sighed. Shen Jingxian took a look at Jean Bebe, only to find that Jean Bebe was grinning at her. Somehow, Shen Jingshuan's heart tightened. She also felt that Jean Bebe seemed to be suspicious of something, but it was impossible. Xiao Chen had disguised himself very well. His voice and clothes were all different. How could Jean Bebe see through him? Illusion, it must be an illusion. Shen Jingxian thought. Bebe, help me take a look. Does this look good? While Cheng Menjing was looking at a hairpin, Shen Jingxian took Jean Bebe to another stall and picked up a hat. Yes. Jean Bebe nodded. Then why were you laughing just now? Shen Jingxian asked. Huh? What did I laugh at? Bebe didn't laugh. Jean Bebe looked at Shen Jingxian strangely. Just now, you were grinning at me, Shen Jingxian said. Oh, just now. I forgot. Jean Bebe scratched her head. Right, Sister Jingxian, my brother-in-law is so handsome. Introduce him to me when you have time. I like such a domineering man the most. Huh? You mean White Fox? Shen Jingxian didn't think much of the first half of Jean Bebe's sentence. Since Jean Bebe had forgotten it, it must not be something important. However, when she heard the second half of Jean Bebe's sentence, she became a bit nervous. It's not a problem to introduce you, but, what do you want to do? Nothing. I just want to ask him if he wants a concubine or not. Sister Jingxian, you are so generous. You won't mind, will you? Jean Bebe asked. Ah. Of course not. Bebe, are you kidding me? Shen Jingxian said with a weird expression and forced a smile. Oh, I'm just joking. Jean Bebe said, I'm quite envious of Sister Jingxian. Alas, Sister Menjing has made no progress with cousin-in-law at all. I'm so anxious. If only I could be as fast as Sister Jingxian, oh. Yes. Shen Jingxian was quite nervous. She had no idea what Jean Bebe meant, but judging from her expression, she didn't know that Xiao Chen was White Fox, did she? Otherwise, she would have asked her directly, wouldn't she? It's so boring. I was thinking of establishing a cousin-in-law association or something and asking Sister Jingxian to join it. You and cousin Menjing are best friends, and cousin Jingxian and I are good sisters. If the three of us marry cousin-in-law, we will be able to hang out with each other all the time. But you are on your own now. It's not a good idea. Jean Bebe said somewhat regretfully, why don't I persuade cousin Menjing to marry a white fox? Ah. Bebe, your joke is not very funny. Shen Jingxian looked a bit nervous. It's not a joke. After all, marrying cousin-in-law or white fox is the same, isn't it? Jean Bebe blinked her eyes. How can it be the same? Shen Jingshuan's heart almost jumped out of her chest. She was almost scared to death by Jean Bebe. Whether we marry cousin-in-law or white fox, the three of us will marry him together. Isn't it more or less the same? Jean Bebe said. Oh. It's more or less the same. How can it be the same? Shen Jingxian was relieved. Jean Bebe's words did not convey what she meant. She was almost scared to death. Ha ha ha. I was just joking. But it seems that I can only follow cousin-in-law. My grandpa likes cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe said, somewhat regretfully. Is that so? Shen Jingxian was somewhat annoyed. Xiao Chen and Jean Bebe were indeed having an affair. Otherwise, why would golden-haired Lion King like Xiao Chen? However, she still pretended to say, then, let's not ruin your relationship with Menjing. Just let Menjing do it first, that's true. I'm not like Sister Jingxian, who enjoys all the benefits first. Jean Bebe nodded. I didn't. Shen Jingshuan's heart almost exploded again. You did. It was Chen Jingkuan and Chen Jinpeng before. Now it's White Fox. Jean Bebe said. That's the arrangement of the family. I can't do anything about it. Shen Jingxian did not want to talk to Jean Bebe anymore. She could not accept the way the girl talked. She was easily scared. Or was it because she had a guilty conscience? Hey, what are you two whispering about? Cheng Menjing turned around and found that Jean Bebe and Shen Jingxian were talking about something. Therefore, she walked over and asked. Nothing. I'm just a little sorry that Sister Jingxian can't share our cousin-in-law with us. Jean Bebe said with a smile. Share our cousin-in-law? Xiao Chen. Who wants to share him? If you like him, you can take him. Cheng Menjing said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Oh. Really? Jean Bebe turned around and looked at Shen Jingxian. Sister Jingxian, are you happy? Why should I be happy? Shen Jingxian looked at Jean Bebe in confusion. Nothing. I think you should be happy because I'm quite happy, Jean Bebe said. Bebe, what nonsense are you talking about today? Stop it. I'm a little hungry. Let's go eat something. Cheng Menjing did not want to talk about Xiao Chen anymore. Ever since she came back from the family banquet with Xiao Chen, Cheng Menjing had been avoiding this topic. She did not know where she should go in the future. Because of the marriage between Xiao Xiao and Cheng Mingxiang, there was an inexplicable barrier between her and Xiao Chen. They came to a restaurant on Miaohui Street. It was a place called South County Snacks. Although it was called Snacks, the decoration was quite luxurious. It was one of the best fast food restaurants on this street. There were so many people in the restaurant that there were no more seats on the first floor. They went to the second floor and found a place to sit down. Xiao Chen, go and buy something. Cheng Menjing looked at the long line in front of the counter downstairs and did not want to go down to line. Therefore, she told Xiao Chen. Okay. Although Xiao Chen was powerful now, he had always carried out his mistress's orders firmly. After all, after knowing her nature, Xiao Chen increasingly felt that he owed her in the past. She was a kind person. Now that he was with Shen Jingxian behind her back, Xiao Chen felt that he was not qualified to be her fiancé. Therefore, he gave in to her all the time. As long as her request was not too excessive, Xiao Chen would satisfy it. Moreover, Qing Menjing was just being tough on the outside but soft-hearted on the inside. Although she would arrogantly order Xiao Qin to do this and that every time, she was actually very concerned about him. "Do you have money?" Qing Menjing suddenly remembered that Xiao Qin did not go to the morning market to set up his stall recently. She had not paid him, and he often had to buy medicine to recuperate. Therefore, she took out a few hundred yuan from her wallet and gave it to Xiao Qin. Xiao Qin did not refuse. He took the money and went downstairs. While Qing Menjing and the others were talking, there were a few men sitting in a corner of the restaurant on the second floor. They were dressed similar to senior brother Chu and junior brother Ma. Those who knew their trade could tell that they were martial artists at a glance. Of course, in the eyes of ordinary people, these people at most wore retro clothes. Nowadays, retro clothes were also popular, so no one thought that there was anything wrong with them dressing like this. "Senior brother Qiao, that person over there seems to be Qing Menjing?" Among these people, a man dressed in a white robe said to the person sitting in the middle, who was obviously the leader. Qiao En's eyes narrowed slightly. He had come to Songning City this time to investigate the cause of Li Shuanying's death. He was now a deacon of the law enforcement hall of the Warrior Guild headquarters and had considerable authority. If it were not for the fact that the colorful Li family had a vice president of the Warrior Guild headquarters, the law enforcement hall would not have accepted this task. After all, being killed at the righteous and demonic summit could only mean that one's strength was not enough. If you wanted to take revenge, it was your own matter in the future. It had nothing to do with the Warrior Guild. Moreover, it would not involve the law enforcement hall. However, this order was personally given by Vice President Li, so Qiao En's could only come in person. Originally, he was a little reluctant and did not immediately start the investigation after he arrived. Instead, he planned to go sightseeing for a few days and investigate after the summit was over. He did not expect to meet the woman he had once pursued here. Chapter 376. Qiao En's father used to be the president of the Songning Warrior Guild. He also went to school with his father in Songning for a few years. At that time, he was also studying in Songning No. 1 Middle School, and Qing Menjing was his junior. At that time, he pursued Qing Menjing, and the Qiao family hinted at the Qing family to propose marriage, but it was rejected. Although his father was the president of the Songning Warrior Guild, Qing Menjing had an engagement. At that time, the Xiao family had not yet declined. Naturally, the Qing family would not agree to the Qiao family's marriage proposal. However, because of this matter, Qiao En's had always been brooding. Although with the improvement of his strength and status, Qiao En's had played with many women over the years, he was still brooding about Qing Menjing, his first love. At this time, when he heard his men say that it was Qing Menjing, he was suddenly shocked. "Xiao Jin, did you see it clearly? Is it really Qing Menjing?" Qiao En's only saw a back view, not the front. "It must be. We have been in school together for so many years. I was in her class at the beginning." The man named Xiao Jin said. His real name was Zhu Jin, and he was one of Qiao En's men. Both of them left Songming together. This kid's father was also a vice president of the Warrior Guild. Later, he followed Qiao En's father to the headquarters. Currently, he was also a small leader. Now, he was living under Qiao En's. Who are those two men? Qiao En's looked at Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming leaving together, so he asked. There were 3 women opposite. He didn't know which of the 2 men were the suitors or boyfriends of 2 of them. He didn't know if they had any relationship with Qing Menjing. The one who left with the money seems to be Xiao Chen, Qing Menjing's fiancé. Zhu Jin said, "It should be him." "Oh. Xiao Chen. Didn't I hear that he and Qing Menjing broke off their engagement? Why did it appear again?" All these years, Qiao En's had been paying attention to the news of Qing Menjing. She was a person that he could not forget. What he could not get was always the best. However, at that time, Qiao En's identity was similar to Qing Menjing's, and their family backgrounds were similar. One was the head of the Songming aristocratic family, and the other was the president of the Songning Martial Artists Guild. But now, Qiao En's status was much higher than Cheng Menjing's. He had a condescending feeling. Who knows? I heard that Xiao Chen was kicked out of the family. Zhu Jin said, Senior brother Qiao, didn't you see him asking Cheng Menjing for money when he was shopping? I guess he's a poor loser now. Really? Let's go and greet them. Qiao En's eyes flashed with disdain. If it was in the past, he probably wouldn't dare to openly snatch Xiao Chen's girlfriend. But now, he wasn't afraid of anything. Do you need us to go over and help? Zhu Jin asked, go downstairs and create some trouble for Xiao Chen. Yes, we can make him look bad. Damn, he dares to snatch senior brother Qiao's woman. He must be tired of living. Another man with a protruding mouth and monkey-like cheeks shouted. As the disciples of the Martial Artists Guild's law enforcement hall, they were usually arrogant and used to be arrogant. Usually, they were responsible for investigating those evil martial artists and assisting the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to arrest them. So, they had more power. Moreover, they also had the power to investigate. To put it bluntly, it was a small Supernatural Investigation Bureau, under the dual leadership of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and the Martial Artists Guild. This agency was not like the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, which often handled some high-end tasks. They were responsible for relatively easy and relatively low-level investigations. So, Qiao En's currently felt that he was very powerful. In Songning City, no one dared to go against him. Even the president of the Martial Artists Guild, Chu Jingbian, had to be respectful when he saw him. Moreover, this guy was promoted after his father left, so he could be considered as one of his father's people. Qiao En's thought for a while and waved his hand. He then stood up and walked towards Cheng Menjing. Later on, you guys act according to the situation, but don't be too deliberate. Don't let others see through you. Wait for Xiao Chen to come back, then you guys go over. For now, I can go over by myself. Don't worry, boss. Don't you know our level of underhanded methods? Zhu Jin smiled. Menjing? Qiao En's walked over and first called out tentatively. He didn't know if this person was Cheng Menjing. Cheng Menjing heard someone calling her. She was slightly stunned. She turned around and saw Qiao En's. However, she didn't know him, so she was a little confused. Are you calling me? Menjing, it's really you. We haven't seen each other for a long time. Don't you recognize me? I'm Qiao En's. Have you forgotten? Our two families used to eat together. Qiao En smiled and told Cheng Menjing about the past. His face was full of memories and excitement. Ah. It's you. Brother Qiao. Cheng Menjing finally remembered who the person in front of her was. At that time, the Qiao family and the Cheng family were very close. As for Qiao En's, the young Cheng Menjing still had some admiration for him. He was handsome and powerful. At a young age, he had the strength of stage 3 inner force. At that time, Cheng Menjing had a very good impression of him. At that time, she even wondered why the family didn't agree to the marriage with the Qiao family but the Xiao family. Anyway, she was going to marry someone. It was better to marry someone more pleasing to the eye. At that time, Qiao En's was indeed more pleasing to the eye than Xiao Chen. However, when she saw Qiao En's again, those feelings in her heart had already faded. After interacting with Xiao Chen for a long time, she found that Xiao Chen was a good person. It was just that she seemed to have misunderstood him in the past. But now, it seemed that in addition to his lack of strength, he was excellent in other aspects. Moreover, Cheng Menjing was no longer a little girl. Her admiration for strength was not so strong. If she really admired strength, it was better to pursue the white fox. Wasn't the white fox more powerful? Hee, it seems that Menjing still remembers me. It really makes me happy. Qiao En suddenly laughed and said, Menjing, how are you now? I'm fine. Cheng Menjing said, what about you? Where are you now? Me? I'm just hanging around in the headquarters of the Warrior Guild as a minor leader of the Law Enforcement Hall. I just came back yesterday to investigate a case. I didn't expect to run into you here. I was thinking of paying you a formal visit after I'm done with my official business, Uncle Cheng. Xiao En's directly sat on the seat opposite of Cheng Menjing that originally belonged to Xiao Chen. He turned around to look at Shen Jingxian and Jean Beibei and said, Shen Jingxian, Jean Beibei. Am I right? Yes, but there's nothing to brag about. As long as you're not a retard, you can remember. Jean Beibei said, also, your seat is taken. Hee hee. Beibei, you're still such a joker. Xiao En's was dazed for a moment, but he did not mind that Jean Beibei's seat was taken. Then, he regained his smile and said, are you here to visit the Temple Street or the amusement park today? Oh, we're here to see an idiot, Jean Beibei said. Idiot? Xiao En's face slightly changed. Was Jean Beibei insulting him? He did not dare to do anything to Jean Beibei before, but now, he no longer cared about the Jean family because of his identity and status. Therefore, he did not care about it at all. His face immediately turned gloomy. Jean Beibei, what did you say? Nothing. We ran into two idiots on the Temple Street just now. If you don't believe me, you can ask cousin Menjiang. Why do you want to know everything? Gossipy. Jean Beibei said. Yes. There were two people who wanted to force me to buy something. Nothing. Cheng Menjiang nodded. Oh. Ha. They are indeed idiots. Xiao En's did not think too much about it when he heard that it was not him. He said, somewhat fascinated, years ago, Menjiang, we often had meals together. Let me treat you today. It's fate that we met again. That's unnecessary. I've already asked someone to buy the food, Cheng Menjiang said. Oh, forget it. I'll treat you alone next time. This fast food is not that good anyway. Xiao En's looked at Cheng Menjiang and smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with the joy of reuniting after a long time. Okay. Let's talk about it when we have time. Cheng Menjiang and Xiao En's were not very familiar now. They were familiar before, but it did not mean that they were familiar now. She did not want the Cheng family to misunderstand her every move. If Xiao En's came to the Cheng family to propose marriage, her grandfather would definitely agree to it. However, she did not know why she used to want to break off the engagement with Xiao Chen so that she could marry a man like Xiao En's. But now that she had broken off the engagement with Xiao Chen, she no longer had that thought. Dad and Uncle Xiao have said it to me. I have to listen to them. They definitely want me to marry Xiao Chen, so I'd better have less contact with Xiao En's. Otherwise, once Cheng Menjing released the signal that she was close to Xiao En's, it would not be good if the Cheng family misunderstood it. Okay. I just want to visit Uncle Cheng and Grandpa Cheng. I'll ask you to come with me. Xiao En smiled indifferently and said. He thought that Cheng Menjing was reserved. While they were talking, Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming came back from downstairs with plates of food. This fast food restaurant sold set meals. Xiao Chen randomly ordered a few kinds and brought them back. Anyway, with primordial qi, they would be delicious. Suddenly, Zhu Jin and Monkey Chin made a move. The two of them, one on the left and the other on the right, collided with Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming. Obviously, they wanted to knock down the set meal in Xiao Chen's hand. Then, Xiao En's could smoothly invite Cheng Menjing to eat. After all, it could be considered an apology. Bang! Zhu Jin and Xiao Chen collided violently. In fact, Xiao Chen saw Zhu Jin coming over with bad intentions before, but he did not care. Especially when he saw the person next to Cheng Menjing, he knew that this person was coming for him. Moreover, he looked a little familiar. He must be an acquaintance from the past. After thinking about it for a while, he had an impression. The person sitting was called Xiao En's, and the person who collided was called Zhu Jin. Chapter 377. Zhu Jin and he were in the same class, and Xiao En's was in the senior grade. Xiao En's had pursued the young lady before. The meal in Xiao Chen's hands was not badly hurt. Xiao Chen steadied his hands and the 3 meals in his hands were not spilled at all. After all, Xiao Chen was a cultivator, and his strength was much higher than the intruder's. The intruder was still too young to play such a trick on him. However, it was not so easy for Lu Zhenming. The 2 meals in Lu Zhenming's hands were directly knocked away. Zhu Jin and Monkey Chin's plan was that if Xiao En's and Qing Menjing bumped into each other, they would not be able to go with them even if they wanted to apologize. Then, Xiao En's would be able to have dinner with Qing Menjing alone. However, as expected, the 2 set meals in Lu Zhenming's hands did not buckle onto Lu Zhenming's body. Instead, they suddenly flew out diagonally. With 2 pang sounds, the 2 set meals, along with the soup and drinks, were all buckled onto Xiao En's head. F***CK. Who did this? Xiao En's was infuriated. He suddenly stood up and glared at Lu Zhenming and Xiao Chen. He was chatting with Qing Menjing when an unexpected disaster fell on his head. How could he bear it? He pointed at Lu Zhenming and said, "Do you want to die? Who are you? Are you out of your mind? They bumped into me. Go and find them." Lu Zhenming pointed at Zhu Jin and Monkey Chin and said, "Luckily, I dodged in time. Otherwise, would have buckled your head too. I don't know who these 2 bastards are messing around with. They must be trying to blackmail you. You've already been beaten up like this. This is intolerable. If it were me, I would have beaten them to death. Unless they're not men." Xiao Chen looked at Xiao En's with righteous indignation. Yes, brother Xiao, this is absolutely intolerable. Jin Beibei chimed in, the 2 of them must have planned to frame brother Xiao. Otherwise, why would they bump into someone when this place is so spacious? You. Xiao En's was rendered speechless by Xiao Chen and Jin Beibei. Yes, this was done by Zhu Jin and Monkey Cheek. The main responsibility was definitely on them. However, these 2 were his subordinates. How could he beat them up? Xiao En's knew that this was definitely a mistake. His subordinates wouldn't harm him. It could only be that he was unlucky. His expression was gloomy and he didn't know what to say. "Senior brother Xiao, I'm sorry. I was in a hurry to help them. I didn't expect that I would be so flustered." Monkey Chin said apologetically. "Yeah, let me help you." Zhu Jin quickly said to Xiao Chen. "Okay, take 1." Xiao Chen nodded and said, "It just so happens that I can't hold 3. Zhu Jin found a way out of the embarrassing situation. He breathed a sigh of relief and took a plate from Xiao Chen. However, as soon as he took the plate, he suddenly felt that the plate seemed to move and fly up directly. With a bang, it was buckled on Xiao En's head again. F***CK. Xiao En's was really angry this time. "Zhu Jin, what do you want to do?" I didn't want to do anything." "Right, it's him. It must be him. He did it. He buckled it. He must be up to no good by holding it for me." Zhu Jin suddenly thought of something. He pointed at Xiao Chen and roared. "Is there something wrong with you?" Xiao Chen held a plate in one hand. "What kind of skill do I have? I hold one in each hand, and then I can buckle the other one out. Do you have this skill?" Xiao En's originally thought that Xiao Chen might have done it on purpose, but after listening to his explanation carefully, he suddenly felt that it was right. He was holding a plate in one hand. How could he buckle the other plate out? At least 1 more plate must be buckled in his hand. Because the 3rd plate was on top of the other 2 plates in his hand, it was completely unrealistic. Zhu Jin thought about it, and it was indeed unrealistic, but he really didn't buckle it. At this moment, he could only say, "I'm sorry, senior brother Xiao. My hand slipped, humph." Xiao En snorted coldly, and then said to Qing Menjing with some embarrassment, "I'm sorry, Menjing. My 2 men are really skilled. I'm leaving first to change clothes. When things are over, I will call you." "Oh. I may not have time. I have to go to school." Qing Menjing said, "In fact, you don't need to visit him. Your official business is more important." "It's okay. I'll call you later," Xiao En said with a smile. Then, he left quickly with his 2 stupid subordinates. After Xiao En's left, Jean Bebe looked at Xiao Chen and said with a smile, "Brother-in-law, you are so awesome. Transformers are really awesome." "What transformers?" Shen Jingxian was slightly dazed, and she was startled again. She felt that Jean Bebe was quite weird today, and her words were full of innuendo. Did she mean that Xiao Chen was a Transformers because he could turn into a white fox? It's the nickname that Jean Bebe gave to Xiao Chen. She said that he was awesome and could not only be a servant but also a detective. Qing Menjing explained, "Jingxian, just ignore her." "Oh." Shen Jingxian nodded. She thought that it was fine as long as she was not talking about him. Because of the incident with Xiao En's, everyone's interest was not high anymore. After dinner, they went home. In fact, this was also in line with Lu Zhenming's idea. Lu Zhenming was going to attend the summit in the evening, so he naturally wanted to leave early. After returning to the car, Xiao En's glared at his 2 subordinates. "What's wrong with you 2? Or are you warriors? Can't you even do such a small thing? This is a mistake." Zhu Jin and his monkey cheek said bitterly. "All right. Stop wasting time. Let's go and find a bath center. I want to take a bath. This is 2F** King uncomfortable," Xiao En said angrily. "Yes, senior brother Qiao." Zhu Jin quickly started the car. In the afternoon, Xiao En's appeared in the office of Chu Zhengbian of the Warrior Guild in Songning City. Chu Zhengbian received Xiao En's warmly. Although Xiao En's was his junior in the past, Xiao En's identity was completely different now. He was here to investigate a case, so Chu Zhengbian had to be careful. "Deacon Xiao, welcome, welcome. I have received the official letter from the Warrior Guild. Don't worry, I will fully cooperate with you," Chu Zhengbian said directly. "Well, I want all the information on the white fox." "Give it to me," Xiao En said. "All right, I have prepared it. Deacon Xiao, please take a look." With that said, Chu Zhengbian handed Xiao En's a document about the white fox and said, "It's all here." The official letter had already stated that Xiao En's and the others were here to investigate the death of Li Shanning and the information on the white fox. All right. Xiao En's actually did not want to care about this matter. When he saw the information on the white fox, he was indeed a member of the Devil Star sect. Moreover, he should be a relatively outstanding disciple. It was a little difficult for him to meet such a person. If he were to bring him for questioning, he might not necessarily cooperate with him. If he did not investigate and go back, the Li family would not be willing. Xiao En's was actually ambitious. He also wanted to fight for the position of president of the Warrior Guild in the future. Logically speaking, with Li Shanning's death, he should be happy that he had one less competitor. However, as a member of the Law Enforcement Hall, he had to give an explanation. If he did not bring back any information after coming here, wouldn't there be a problem with his ability? This would bring a stain to his future competition for the position of president, so he had to investigate and find out the reason. In fact, he also knew that the challenges of the summit were in line with the rules. What he needed to do was to investigate why the white fox killed Li Shanning so ruthlessly, or whether there was any enmity between him and Li Shanning before. Thinking of this, he carefully looked at the information in his hand and used his hand to knock the teacup on the table rhythmically, thinking about the connection. At this time, there was a knock on the door of Chu Zhengbian's office. Chu Zhengbian said, "Who is it? Please come in." "President Chu, it's me." The person who came in was Chen Huanling. As soon as he entered the door, he said, "President Chu, thank you very much for yesterday. By the way, Did Hero White Fox say anything after he went back? However, after saying that, he saw that there were still 3 people sitting in the room. He was stunned for a moment and was a little embarrassed. President Chu, you have a guest. I'll take my leave first. Okay, go do your work. We'll talk about this later. Chu Jingbian nodded. Wait, come back here. Xiao Ens pointed at Chen Huanling and said. Ah. You called me? Chen Huanling was a little unhappy. Who is this person? His tone is like an order. I'm not his subordinate, does he think he's Chu Jingbian? Seeing the displeasure in Chen Huanling's eyes, Chu Jingbian quickly introduced, Huanling, this is Deacon Xiao from the Law Enforcement Hall of the Warrior Guild's Secular World Headquarters. He's here to investigate a case. Ah, Deacon Xiao. Hello, hello. Chen Huanling was startled. He knew that the Law Enforcement Hall's deacons were all ruthless characters. Although they didn't dare to say that they could directly touch Chen Huanling, if they offended them, they could go back to the Warrior Guild and say that Chen Huanling was incompetent. It wouldn't be long before he was taken down. Chen Huanling hurriedly greeted Xiao Ens respectfully. You know White Fox? Why, are you familiar with him? Xiao Ens asked. Ah, that's okay. Chen Huanling didn't understand what Xiao Ens meant. He didn't know why he asked this question. Did he know about White Fox or something else? He hadn't seen the official letter yet, so he didn't know Xiao En's purpose. What's on your mind? Chu Jingbian glanced at Chen Huanling and reminded him to tell the truth. Are you familiar with him or not? Then do you know why White Fox wanted to kill Li Shanying? Xiao Ens asked. If you know, then hurry up and tell me. Otherwise, you know the consequences if you don't report it. Huh? Chen Huanling was stunned. Why did White Fox want to kill Li Shanying? It seemed that Xiao Ens was here to investigate White Fox. Thinking about how White Fox went to his house to cause trouble yesterday, he couldn't help but say angrily, I know this. Chapter 378. Oh. You know about it? Xiao En's gaze fell on Chen Huanling. Alright, then tell me. Is there something you're hiding? If you tell me well, you'll be handsomely rewarded. Chu Jingbian didn't want Xiao Ens to get involved in these emotional matters. Chu Jingbian was very smart. Xiao Ens couldn't represent the Warrior Guild, and he might not be investigating Li Shanying's death sincerely. After all, Xiao Ens was a beneficiary of Li Shanying's death. Chen Huanling didn't know anything, yet he rushed to take revenge just because White Fox humiliated him yesterday. His personality wasn't good. Thinking about how he had a good personal relationship with Chen Huanling, Chu Jingbian had to distance himself from him in the future. This man was too petty and vengeful. However, he couldn't stop Chen Huanling in front of Xiao Ens, so he could only let him continue. White Fox's girlfriend is called Shen Jingxian. She's from the Shen family of Zhenwu. On the first day of the summit, Li Shanying's opponent was Shen Jingmao. Only after Li Shanying injured Shen Jingmao did White Fox make a move. He stood up for the Shen family and killed Li Shanying. That's the whole story, Chen Huanling said. Oh. So White Fox's challenge was a personal matter, and not a fight between the righteous and demon sects. Xiao En's eyes flickered as he asked. In fact, everyone knew in their hearts that the summit between the righteous and demonic factions was mostly caused by personal grudges and friction between the two factions. At this time, Xiao Ens brought out his personal grudges, which was obviously nonsense. His goal was to pin a crime on White Fox. However, Chen Huanling wasn't convinced. He also wanted White Fox dead. White Fox had humiliated the Chen family yesterday. He was the vice president of the Warrior Guild. If he didn't do anything after someone kicked his door, how could he live in the future? Now that he could use Xiao En's hand to teach White Fox a lesson, he was very happy to see it, so he added oil to the fire. I heard that at that time, Li Shanying had already admitted defeat, but White Fox still killed him to vent his anger. It's just that Li Shanying's mouth was beaten out of shape, and the words he spoke were unclear. Perhaps only White Fox, who was also in the arena, could hear him. No one else could hear him clearly, so in the end, the referee of the summit ruled that White Fox was not responsible. However, the details of this matter must be carefully considered. Yes, can you take responsibility for your words? Xiao Ens nodded and asked. Yes. Chen Huanling replied in a firm voice. All right, if that's the case, I'll report it to the higher-ups. This White Fox has violated the Warrior Guild's taboo by using the summit as an excuse to vent her personal anger. Xiao Ens was still speaking when a knock came from the door. What is it? Chu Jingbian asked. President Chu, there are 2 foreign warriors outside saying that they want to report a case, a disciple of the Warrior Guild said. Report? Let's talk about it later. I have a guest here. Chu Jingbian said. Who are they? Why do I have to receive them personally? Normally, there would be no need to look for the president of the Warrior Guild personally for a small matter. It was obvious that these 2 were not ordinary people. Therefore, after much consideration, Chu Jingbian decided to ask one more question. It's the people from the Golden Bell sect. They said that the White Fox was a busybody and bullied them, and injured them. The disciple said. Oh. Let them in. Shen Huanling was overjoyed when he heard that. This is the law enforcement hall's deacon sent by the higher-ups to investigate the White Fox's case. He has the authority to ask about everything related to the White Fox, right? That's right. Let them in. Xiao Ens was delighted to see Chen Huanling so obedient. He did not mind putting more crimes on the White Fox anyway. It would show how selfless he was. Although Li Shanning was his competitor, he did not gloat over his misfortune. Instead, he did his best to investigate the case, which would leave a good impression on the higher-ups. In fact, from Xiao En's point of view, since Li Shanning was already dead, he could use this matter to show his ability. It was a worthy death. Seeing that the 2 of them had spoken, Chu Jingbian couldn't do anything about it. He thought that Chen Huanling was too talkative, so he could only nod and say, let them in. Yes. The disciple retreated. Not long after, he came back with 2 people from the Golden Bell sect. They were Junior Brother Ma and Senior Brother Chu. Junior Brother Ma's injuries were not treated in time, or rather, he did not want to treat them. In any case, he had arrived miserably and appeared in front of these people. Tell me, what's going on? This is the law enforcement hall's deacon of our Warrior Guild headquarters. If you have any grievances, he will definitely help you and uphold justice. Chen Huanling pointed at Xiao Ens. Yes, yes. Junior Brother Ma and Senior Brother Chu were overjoyed, especially Junior Brother Ma. He rolled his eyes and recounted his miserable experience with tears and snot streaming down his face. Although the story was roughly the same, it was completely distorted by him. We went to Temple Fair Street to buy a pair of binoculars so we could watch the summit competition at night. However, who would have thought that we would be forced to buy a pair of binoculars for 10,000 yuan? President Chu, Vice President Chen, you are all locals. How can there be such an expensive price on Temple Fair Street? If this isn't extortion, then what is? Yes, that's a big market. There aren't many binoculars that cost more than 100 yuan. Shen Huanling nodded in agreement and gestured for him to continue. Right, Vice President Chen knows better. Junior Brother Ma nodded. Think about it. Even a normal person wouldn't be able to tolerate such a thing, let alone us, who are more skilled martial artists. So, we got into an argument. Who would have thought that the White Fox would interfere? He beat me up just because he knew those scammers. Not only that, he extorted 20,000 yuan from me and beat me up like this. Not only that, he insisted on deducting 20 challenge points from us righteous sections. Do you think that's fair? We've been wronged. This White Fox is so tyrannical and shameless. Xiao En slammed the table in anger. I thought Li Shanning was an isolated case. It turns out that this has already aroused the public's anger. It seems that if we don't deal with this white fox, we'll be in trouble. Yes, I've long heard that this white fox is tyrannical. Chen Huanling nodded. Now, I suspect that my son, Qin Jinpeng, was killed by this white fox. Oh. What? Your son was killed by him? Xiao Enz was stunned. Why? Sigh, isn't it because of that B*TCH, Xin Jingxian? She used to be my son, Qin Jinpeng's fiancée, but she hooked up with this white fox. I won't say much. Let me show you a video. I'll tell you as I watch. As he spoke, Chen Huanling took out his phone and played the video that Xia Chen sent to Xiao Enz. Then, he told Xiao Enz about what happened and how Qin Jinpeng was raped by a hoodlum. This white fox is so tyrannical. He's the scum of the martial artists. Xiao Enz originally only wanted to fabricate a crime for the white fox. Who would have thought that after this investigation, there was no need to fabricate anything? This was all ready-made evidence. Yes, I think so too. Chen Huanling nodded bitterly. If we don't get rid of this person, it'll be difficult to appease the public's anger. However, I'm only the vice president of the Warrior Guild. How can I go against the Devil Star sect? Only an expert from the headquarters like Warden Xiao can suppress him. Xiao Enz thought for a moment and instructed Chu Jingbian, President Chu, send a notice to the Songning Summit now. Tell them that the Warrior Guild wants to investigate the White Fox. Tell them to stop all of the White Fox's competition qualifications and nullify all of his previous points. This isn't too good, right? Chu Jingbian was a little hesitant. Warden Xiao, the Righteous Devil Summit is not under the jurisdiction of the Warrior Guild. Moreover, there are higher-ups from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and the Hong Consortium overseeing it. Hee, you don't know about this, do you? Xiao En said faintly, there are some matters of the upper echelons that you may not be aware of. This deadly Shanying, the Colorful Li family, and the Hong Chamber of Commerce have an engagement. Think about it, if we help the Colorful Li family investigate the White Fox, the Hong Chamber of Commerce will definitely support us. Moreover, our law enforcement hall is also under the jurisdiction of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. To put it bluntly, we're like a subordinate organization. Who would go against their own people? Moreover, we're only investigating the White Fox. We're not trying to disrupt the summit, nor are we trying to control them. Ah. There's actually such a relationship? Chen Huanling was shocked. He slapped his thigh and said, that makes things easier. They're all on our side. President Chu, should I send a notice immediately? Since Warden Xiao has said so, I can only nod, Chu Jingbian said helplessly. Looking at Chen Huanling jumping up and down, he wondered why he hadn't realized that this person was so proactive in the past. Alright, I'll go send the notice now. Chen Huanling stood up and walked out in a few steps. He was filled with resentment, so his words were very harsh. He directly stated that the Warrior Guild wanted to investigate the White Fox. What he meant was that they had to hand over this person and stop the competition. However, in his opinion, be it the Hong Consortium or the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, they were all on the same side. Of course, they wouldn't stop them. As for the two managing elders, they definitely wouldn't stop the Hong Chamber of Commerce and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. After all, the backing and background of these two organizations made them wary. Moreover, at the end of the day, it was the referee who had the final say on whether to stop a person from competing. Indeed, after receiving the notice, the Warrior Guild passed it on to Song Huawu and Hong Zhu. Judges, what do you think? Elder Wang represented the righteous sects, so he naturally hoped that the White Fox would be disqualified from the competition and have all his points deducted. That would be beneficial to the righteous sections. I think we should cooperate with the Warrior Guild's investigation and disqualify this person from the competition. Chapter 379. Elder Wang, that's not right. That's just your side of the story. Are we supposed to cooperate with them if they want to investigate this today and that tomorrow? Is the summit still going to be held? What are we supposed to do if they ask us to leave? Elder Su represented the demon sect. Although White Fox had killed Leng Youxiang, the points earned by the demon sect were real. If it was cancelled, the points would be gone. He was naturally unwilling. Besides, there are 2 referees here. This is the decision of the referees. What does it have to do with us? Humph. Elder Wang snorted coldly, then smiled at Song Huawu and Hong Zhu. What do the 2 referees think? Tell him to stay where he is. Don't interfere with the righteous demonic summit. Does he think he can represent the warrior guild? If he doesn't want to do it anymore, I'll call someone to replace him. What law enforcement hall warden? I think he has nothing better to do, Hong Zhu said indifferently. Elder Wang smiled bitterly. The person in front of him was really confident. The relationship between the Hong Chamber of Commerce and the Warrior Guild was very subtle. The people in charge of the 2 organizations had a good relationship, and he knew Hong Zhu's identity. With a call from Hong Zhu, Xiao En's might really be kicked out. However, he also knew why Hong Zhu would speak up for White Fox. After all, Hong Zhu was also a member of the demon sect. Naturally, he would side with them. Therefore, this was not incomprehensible. It mainly depended on Song Huawu's attitude. If Song Huawu supported the Warrior Guild, there was still a chance. Team Leader Song, what do you think? Who's from the law enforcement hall? Xiao En's? Is he crazy? Who does he think he is to order me around? Song Huawu snorted coldly. Reject him. Tell him to look for me if he has any problems. All right. Elder Su smiled after hearing that. That's it then. Elder Wang had no other choice. It seemed that the other party was not going to listen to him. He had thought that the Songming Summit would agree to his request without hesitation. However, he hadn't expected that his request would be rejected in less than 10 minutes. Shen Huanling was dumbfounded as he held the rejection notice. He had volunteered to do it, yet he had failed. How was he going to explain this to Xiao En's when he returned? He was planning to rely on this big tree to see if there was any possibility of him rising in the future. Now that he couldn't even do the first thing well, how could he talk about the future? However, he did not dare to hide it, quickly took back the rejection notice, and said to Xiao En's with a sullen face, President Chu, Deacon Xiao, this righteous and demonic summit directly rejected our proposal, you see. What? Rejected? Xiao En's didn't quite believe it. What did they say? Didn't they go through 2 judges? Yes, these are the opinions of the 2 judges. Shen Huanling handed the rejection notice to Xiao En's, then said with a wry smile, Deacon Xiao, look at what's written here. He didn't dare to read it out himself. After all, the wording was a little. Xiao En's took a look at the rejection notice and his face immediately turned red. Hong Zhu's opinion was that he had affected the normal progress of the summit. If he wanted to quit, then he should just say so. She would suggest to the higher-ups of the Warrior Guild to replace him. Song Huawu's reply was that she didn't agree, and if there were any problems, he could look for her. Although Song Huawu's attitude was not as unyielding as Hong Zhu's, it seemed like she didn't agree either. Xiao En's couldn't let go of his pride. He hesitated for a moment and said, You don't have to worry about it, you don't have to worry about it. I will personally go to the summit to discuss some matters with group leader Song. Perhaps there are some things that can't be explained clearly in the document. Okay, then shall we go together? Shen Huanling said. Okay, you guys come with me. Xiao En's wanted to regain his pride. In his opinion, as long as he went to reason with Song Huawu and told the truth of the matter to her, with her personality, she should not stop him. The notice just now did not say what had happened to the White Fox, so it seemed normal that the summit had rejected it. If the Warrior Guild could casually disqualify someone from the competition, then it would be too much of a joke. Therefore, the 3 of them drove to the Zheng family's martial arts club with the 2 victims. In the workshop of the summit, they met Song Huawu, Hong Zhu, and the 2 managing elders. Group leader Song, Miss Hong Zhu. Xiao En's didn't dare to be careless. He understood Hong Zhu's identity. In fact, he had always coveted Hong Zhu's beauty and status. He was a little envious of Li Shanpao and Li Shanying. Why could the colorful Li family form a marriage alliance with the Hong Chamber of Commerce, but he couldn't? In the past, in Xiao En's opinion, being able to form a marriage alliance with Qing Menjing was already good enough. But now, Qing Menjing was just a lover in his eyes. He now had a higher goal to pursue and pursue. Of course, this was also because the Qiao family was different from the Li family. The Qiao family was one of the old families of the newly promoted warrior guild. It was different from an old family like the colorful Li family. The colorful Li family had been in the upper echelons of the warrior guild for several generations, while the Qiao family only had Xiao En's father. "Well, Deacon Xiao, why did you come in person?" "I've seen the notice. It's not impossible to investigate, but it's impossible to directly disqualify White Fox from the competition and cancel his points," Song Huawu said straightforwardly. "Investigate what? Do you think you're the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, using a chicken feather as a token of authority? Why don't I get our Hong family's Honging team to investigate you tomorrow? Arrest you? How about we have a big fight?" Hong Zhu looked at Xiao En's disdainfully, not putting him in her eyes at all. In Hong Zhu's eyes, he was just a small fry. Xiao En's expression was a little awkward. He ignored Hong Zhu. In his opinion, as long as Song Huawu agreed, there wouldn't be any problems. "Group leader Song, you don't know about White Fox's evil deeds. I'll explain it to you, and you'll know." "Oh, then go ahead." Song Huawu naturally wouldn't deny Xiao En's the right to speak. She was still a very fair person. First, the matter of White Fox killing Li Shanying. Xiao En's told Song Huawu about the matter. This matter is in line with the rules of the competition. It's a result that referee Hong Zhu and I unanimously determined. You mean that the result that we determined was wrong and unfair? You want to investigate both of us? Song Huawu asked directly after listening. This. Xiao En's actually knew that this matter couldn't be justified if it was exposed, but he didn't want this matter to change Song Huawu's attitude. Hence, he said, "Of course, this is only what I heard. If group leader Song says that there's no problem, then there's definitely no problem. But putting this matter aside, there's another matter. White Fox has already aroused public anger. What else is there?" Song Huawu asked. "Also, White Fox is bullying the market, forcing people to buy and sell. It's like this." Xiao En's told her about the matter at Temple Street. "A telescope costs 10,000 yuan. Is that telescope made of gold?" "Oh. There's such a thing?" Song Huawu was stunned. She felt that Xiao Chen was in need of money, but using this kind of method to earn money was really a little overbearing. "Is this true?" "It's true. The people involved are here too." "Xiao Ma, tell me about it." As he spoke, Xiao En's asked Chen Jinpeng to invite the two victims at the door in. "Yes, it's like this." Xiao Ma rambled on, adding oil to the fire. "Oh." Song Huawu frowned. Although her relationship with Xiao Chen was not bad, she couldn't bring herself to openly side with him. "I know about that telescope. 10,000 yuan for one is not wrong." At this moment, Hong Zhu spoke. "The price of that telescope is 30 yuan. But because it's to be sold in the Warrior Guild, it has to be authorized by the Hong family. It has to be pasted with the logo of the Hong Consortium's Chamber of Commerce. We charge 5,000 yuan for each logo. Her telescope is priced at 10,000 yuan. It's also registered with the Hong Consortium's Chamber of Commerce. Xiao Ma, right? It's normal to spend 10,000 yuan to buy a telescope. Why? Do you think it's expensive? Do you think that the Hong Consortium is forcing you to buy and sell? Fine, then I'll inform everyone that the Hong Consortium in the secular world will no longer do business with you. Go buy from other consortiums. And that Golden Bell sect, put them on the blacklist as well." "Ah. The others. Xiao Ma was so scared that he wet his pants. It was one thing for him to be blacklisted, but if the entire Golden Bell sect was blacklisted, his master would hang him up and beat him to death when he returned. Miss Hong, please don't listen to Junior Brother Ma's nonsense. This is the truth. Senior Brother Chu was also scared. He hurriedly told Song Huawu everything that had happened. Qiao Ens, these are your so-called people involved? Distorting the truth? Song Huawu was a little speechless. She sneered at Xiao Ma and Senior Brother Chu. I was also deceived. These two bastard sons of bitches, get the hell out of my sight. Qiao Ens was so angry that he kicked Junior Brother Ma's butt and kicked him out of the room. Junior Brother Ma's injuries hadn't healed in the first place. Now that he was kicked, he cried out in pain. Senior Brother Chu also hurriedly ran out to support him. Look, even you want to kick this kind of scum to death, not to mention White Fox who saw injustice and stood up for him. Song Huawu said calmly. So, this is your evidence? That doesn't count. But there's one more thing, and that is that we must investigate White Fox. Qiao Ens gritted his teeth and staked everything on this one throw. There's detailed evidence for this. What is it? Song Huawu felt a headache coming on. This Qiao Ens really knew how to stir up trouble. The moment he arrived, he came up with so many things. Moreover, it was one thing if these things were true, but he was obviously making them up. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.